Welcome to Twist Talks Season 2, where we discuss the Japanese game Twisted Wonderland.
This season, we will be focusing more on gameplay, but still have theories, headcanons, and other random nonsense as always.
For the sake of spoilers within our podcast, we will only be discussing the international release over the Japanese release.
Hi, I'm Tilsa, and my pronouns are she, her.
Hi, my name's Kaden, and my pronouns are I don't give a fuck.
My name is Wonder, and I use any pronouns.
My brain just low-key forgot how to do introductions for episodes because I'm not normally the one that does it. Hello. For this episode, we are going over Book 4, which is Scarabia. And Wonder will be reading off all of the bullet points I took about 2 hours ago. So, hopefully she understands them all.
Yeah, we'll see. I think most of them, because like I said, I feel like I remember this one pretty well, but maybe not specifics, but we'll see.
I was going to say, I know I don't cover everything, but there's still like 100 of them.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
And I, again, just have the cat videos.
I did not do any preparation for this one because the ADHD hit me hard and I've been procrastinating on everything all day.
That's so valid.
So, do we just want to get right into it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Alright. So the first thing is the ghost telling us we look like we haven't slept. That's your first note.
Yeah.
I do not remember the context behind this.
I don't remember this
That's
either.
just like we wake up and that's pure vibes. They're just like, wow, you really look horrible.
Is it because of Mickey?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, because
Probably.
the previous book ended with us meeting Mickey. That was like the last thing that happened.
That might be it. Either way, we come downstairs and they're just like, wow, you look like you haven't slept. You guys must be so excited for winter break. But apparently we were told nothing about.
Yeah, which that's like so rude.
I know, right?
I love the ramshackle ghosts, but that is incredibly rude.
I know.
Why did none of the teachers bring it up? Like, I
They
feel
bring
like
it
that's...
up in the next
No.
class. Because then right away it's like Corel just being like, just because you have a break doesn't mean you can't slack on your homework. But apparently we had no knowledge of this because right away Grimm's just like, what is winter break? Which isn't in the Japanese version, it's Christmas break. 'Cause
Maybe?
I remember watching
I
a
don't
video where it was like, in America it's winter break, but in Japan it's Christmas break. So Twisted Wonderland has Jesus, but only in Japan.
Well, it's different in Japan because they were all... whatever the word is. They were all converted by, like...
Colonized?
Christian? Yeah. No, not colonized.
Converted, I think, is the right
Yeah,
word.
they were all converted into like Christianity or Buddhism, and a large portion of them only celebrate Christmas. Like the entire country mostly celebrates Christmas, and that's just Christmas holiday instead of where, as us in the U.S., we have many different holidays here.
Fair.
I will say though, I'm about to go on my midterm break like next week, and the only class that has mentioned it is the one that has a midterm. That's the only one we've talked about it, so it is a thing.
Yeah, I guess.
That like they wouldn't mention it. Yeah. Alright, so the next bullet point is Grimm doesn't know what winter holiday is,
Yep.
Makes sense.
which we kind of already talked about.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, considering he's like a few months old at this point, presumably.
I have no clue how old he is.
Is there a question mark near his age? Let me see.
Watch
I
him be
think
like
so.
30, but he has amnesia.
Because if I remember correctly, it's like heavily implied that he was only aware for like a couple months before finding out what NRC is and deciding to invade.
Yep, it's unknown.
Uh-huh. But it's the reverse of like the Fae ages, where they're like way older than we think they are, presumably.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So next bullet point is the ghosts head to the netherworld for the holidays. Yeah, that's a fun little fact, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know why you highlighted that.
I highlight the most random things, and when I make these notes, I did not expect someone to read them bullet point by bullet points.
The thing is none of these up until like the Crowley one, none of these are in the cat video, so I have no idea what's going on.
Fun.
It started out with them leaving.
Yeah.
So I don't remember this.
Oh, hey, we can bring back the how fucking old is Grim talk though, because the next 2 bullet points are Grim doesn't remember his family, and he woke up hungry and alone.
Yep.
So yeah, I think he's only a couple months old, maybe a year at max.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what was happening in that is the ghosts say that, ghosts go to the netherworld during over Christmas break, winter break, whatever it is, and visit their families, and they joke that, sometimes they go there and stay there, like they don't come back. And Grim was asking about that, like, oh, ghosts have family and stuff like that, and they're like, well, do you remember, what's your family like? And he's just like, I have no clue. He's like, I don't remember. I just woke up one day and I just remember being like hungry and all alone, so I probably don't have one. It's just like, oh, okay. Sad cat. Yeah. He doesn't seem to care. He's just like, and then I found food.
Oh shit. I dropped my knitting needle again.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I have no insight to that from either the manga or the novel, because like most other mysteries in the game, like there's something in some other media. Oh my god, this time I fully threw it across my room. That's fun. That can help us come to some sort of a conclusion, but like, nah, what the fuck is Grim?
You don't get a conclusion.
Yeah. Well,
yet, at least. We probably
not giving any backstory to Grim adds to the like you and Grim being the same being theory.
Oh, I had not heard of that.
We've talked about it before, and you said I should make an episode on it, but there's no content to make an episode on besides the fact that the theory is just like when you got like teleported to there, like their magic was ripped out of them, and that their magic became Grim.
Okay.
So it
we
was
can
like
say that for NRC headcanons.
Okay.
That's like all I know about the theory, but I mean, it makes sense, especially when we're walking around being considered half of a student.
That's fair. I will say I did just remember that there actually is one detail. It's in book 6. If you're okay with me talking about it, because it kind of is a big thing, but also not really.
Spoilers for book 6 ahead.
You know the fire that's in Grim's ears?
Yeah. And isn't it on his tail? No, it's not on his tail.
Yep. It is the exact same, like, curse fire that makes up the Shroud Brothers' hair.
Makes sense.
Fire hair.
But that's it. That's all we know.
I mean, I don't know much about the Shroud Brothers' hairs besides its fire, so I don't know how important that
like
actually is.
Their fire hair is like the mark of their family curse.
So
But that's
Grim is related to the Shrouds. Got it.
Or has some sort of curse or blessing. Is kind of the conclusion that they come to. But that's all we know about Grim. And that's kind of a little frustrating to me. I personally think we should at this point in the game we should know a little more, but maybe that's coming in book 7. I don't know.
I think it's just everyone has accepted that this little demon cat is there, and they just don't care anymore about that. They've accepted
certainly
it, and they don't
do.
need to know.
I mean, yeah. I don't know.
Anyway, let's save the headcanons
Anyway.
for another episode. Because
Yes.
we're only 5
Different
in and
episode.
spend 10 minutes, so...
Oh,
Jesus.
gosh.
Okay.
Let's try and keep this
so-
one under 2 hours. Fingers crossed. It's not going to happen.
Fingers crossed. So Cruel tells us we better get our homework done over break. Yeah.
He makes
Anything
threats
for you.
to the students. He literally says he has punishments picked out for students who don't get their homework done.
It probably
just
just
like,
means
oh,
more
okay.
homework.
Yeah.
Probably. But considering this
winter
is the
break-
teacher that like carries around a whip, we're not gonna
He's not gonna
not
use
gonna
it.
tempt him.
Yeah. But I mean, winter break homework is a thing. I used to get some almost every year.
I didn't.
Back in high school.
I
I
think it
was
just
also
depends.
Yeah. We also literally just talked about my school, though, so now you
Yeah.
know which school I went to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes sense.
In the... that was in the book 3 up? Or was that yesterday?
Yeah, it was the book 3
That was book
because I
3.
was there
Okay.
for that conversation.
Yeah. Alright. Anyway, so the cafeteria and the school store are closed over break.
Of course they are.
Yeah. That's even here where like students live on campus over break sometime. Like at my college, yeah, the cafeteria is closed
That
over
makes
break.
sense.
I
Yeah.
wasn't sure how normal that was. At first that threw me off because I was like, they have students staying and then they're just leaving them to like fend for themselves. And then I was like, wait, I feel like I remember my brother saying stuff about that when he was at college.
It
Yeah.
makes sense
It
except for the
does.
fact that like they're
Yeah.
fairies. Are they fairies? They're either fairies or ghosts that are doing the cafeteria stuff. So I feel like that
Ghosts.
or well the ghosts go home for break anyway, so that does make sense.
It depends on the ghost. They get into that a few. Did I actually write that down?
I don't know.
Oh, I didn't write that down specifically. But the random task we get for like probably being like, oh, exchange for giving you food, you have to do this task is we have to keep giving the fairy fires firewood because the head chef ghost is the one that normally does it, but he's going to the netherworld to see his new grandchild. I thought I would have added that to the bullet points because they question, they're like, how does a ghost have a grandchild? And he's just like, it was a miracle of love. You don't need to question these things.
No,
I honestly think
He's
that's
like, we don't need to have this conversation with students.
it makes sense though. Like you die and then your kid dies and then your grandkid dies. Like it's just normal. It just means the grandkid is finally in the netherworld. Is that not what it means? Or
No,
it
the
says
way Crowley
new
was saying
grandkid though. So
the way
in my
Crowley was saying it
mind,
made it seem like 2 ghosts just managed to have a baby.
probably fucking an abortion baby that got sent to the netherworld. Anyway.
or just a dead baby.
Yeah. Look, I found
Like
this
he
dead
is.
baby.
No, well, I mean his actual grandchild, but
Yeah.
died as a child.
Yeah. No, that's
Then he didn't get to meet them before he died.
it's probably
Why are we coming up with the sad backstories for the ghost chef?
poor ghost chef.
Anyway, yeah.
Who
Yeah.
knows? We jumped a couple bullet points ahead, though.
Yeah. All right. So Crowley is helping the students use the dark mirror to get home. If you let go of your luggage, it's gone forever.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. He's like, hold on to your bag tight, because if you let go of it, we have no clue where that's getting sent, so... If you have valuables, send them with the school mail.
No,
Yeah.
I thought
See,
he
that
said
makes
just
me
put them on
question-
your person.
Wear a purse. What were you saying, Wonder?
But like that makes me question. Is like every time we go somewhere as a group, is everybody holding hands?
Probably.
Like in all of the hometown events?
I don't know.
Is everybody just
Is it-
holding hands?
I kind of saw it
Well-
as they talked about like where we're gonna go, so you have to think that you want to go that place, and then you're good.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
In the last book, when we were struggling to breathe, I doubt we were all taking the time to hold hands. I think we were just like racing towards that mirror.
Yeah.
But I could
It
also
was
see,
fun.
I could see people getting lost because they were like, "Where am I going again?" And then they just think of someplace else, and then they're like, "Oh shit, now I'm lost."
I'm
Mhm.
suddenly in Paris, dang it.
I
I'm just
mean,
thinking of this
I wouldn't
scene
pass
from
that up.
I would.
I'm just
Paris is
thinking of this
nasty.
scene from Chamber of Secrets where they're teaching Harry how to use the flu network. And they're like, okay, you gotta speak very clearly. Diagon Alley. Dignity. He gets sent to a random place.
How does that get him sent to Nocturne Alley?
I don't know. But it did.
We kind of stopped
Anyway,
comparing this to Harry Potter.
Yeah.
That's just where my mind goes. It's magic
Anyway.
school for teenagers.
hmm
Keep it going.
So next we get the best visual in the entire game: Crowley's Hawaiian shirt.
I fucking hate that Hawaiian shirt so much. It's so ugly.
It is.
Like the
I'm
way
googling a picture of it now because I just read the dialogue. I didn't actually play it. So. Crowley Hawaiian shirt.
the problem is with this shirt is that it doesn't match his skin tone like at all.
Yeah.
It's really hard to I don't
He's
even know.
also wearing a fedora,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
stole it
he
from Trey.
still has on his gloves and his mask, and he
I
has
hate
on
this so much.
like white board shorts
Yeah.
and brown leather loafers.
Oof.
Let me look at this
You got
bitch
that
again.
nice. You got that nice yellow Hawaiian shirt with palm leaves, apples, flower blossoms, and a single crow or raven or bird just sitting on one of the apples,
Yeah.
and white pearl looking buttons.
Oh my god, I just when I was searching it up, I saw it's a Tumblr post and it says "Hold up, Crowley," and it zooms into his shirt and it's got a raven sitting on an apple,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
like the bird and the apple in Snow White, and then it shows the picture
Yeah.
of the bird and apple. He's such a
Uh-huh.
fucking dork.
Oh my gosh,
you
someone
see
made the shirt.
Oh my god.
I just found a
How?
Reddit post
I
where
knew-
someone made the Hawaiian shirt.
I see it. I want it.
It's beautiful.
I just don't like how it clashes with literally every part of him.
Oh no. Cursed images.
Oh.
I'm Sunday.
Wait, what the fuck is that?
I don't even want to look. Ugh,
Oh!
why did I look?
Ew.
That's so funny though.
Oh.
It's
Is that Cater? Is that Cater? I can't even tell.
It's Cater.
I think that's Cater.
Oh my god.
That's
Okay,
gross.
let's move on.
Okay.
Enough about
I
fashion.
expect,
Yeah.
I expect that from Cater, not from him. Not from Crowley.
Okay. Next is he forgot he needs to take care of us.
Yeah.
Which is just like so.
So
The
Crowley
entire
coded.
series.
Yeah.
He only
Why do
thinks
we
about,
depend on this
yeah.
man?
He only thinks about us when like we can do something for him,
Mhm.
like fixing all of his problems. But he threatens us to do so. So now,
Literally every time
yeah.
he makes us do something, he's just like, remember, I'm the one giving you food and giving you a literal building that's falling apart for you to stay in. Like
A roof over your head, more like holes
Yeah.
over my head. Nice
I
try,
know, right?
Birdman.
It is canon that the roof leaks. Like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so generous. I'm the one that gives you food. Remember that. I can take it away.
Okay, please do, because you don't feed me enough. Like, I literally don't get paid enough to get food. They talk about that you spends all their money on just feeding Grim. Because first of all, Grim is a fucking gremlin. Second of all, they don't get enough money. They have to beg.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
moving on.
All right. He bribes us with food to do his work, which is tend to the fires. We already kind of talked about that. We do, at this point, though, finally get a phone.
Yay.
Woo.
Which, if this is going by, the European school year, which we have all assumed it is, that means we've spent 4 months without one.
Oh, yeah.
Not surprised, honestly.
What does you do? What does you do? Like, when they're just
Trying
what
to
do
fix
they
the
do?
house.
I feel so bad for you. I think I'd go crazy.
They're
Yeah.
probably just like trying to board up the holes in the ceiling.
But how do
Make sure their
I-
bed isn't coated in dust.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that. Like, I cannot clean without music or a podcast or something in the background. So,
Oh, for sure.
honestly, I probably
that kinda
would have
canon,
stolen
though?
Ace's phone.
Oh, for sure. Isn't that kind of canon, though, that that's what they do? Because when we get the guest rooms, he's like, oh, here's another
Oh.
room. And we're like, oh, we got to clean this and decorate this and do all this to make it nice so people can come over. Like, isn't that just canon that we just spend, like,
I
all our
guess.
time cleaning our house?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we also have to, like, do homework, and
Well, yeah.
we still have janitor duties, I think.
I don't
How
think.
much homework
Which,
do
like,
we
just makes
actually
my
have to
point
do
even
if
more.
we
I
don't
wouldn't
have
be able to
magic?
do that without music or
Honestly,
a podcast. So yeah, if it were me, I would have stolen Ace's phone at this point. It's my phone now.
You don't need it. You don't need it.
Yeah.
He's probably one of those weird incels on Twitter. You know, that's what he is. That's
Would
what
have logged
Ace
him
is.
out and made my own account and everything.
Yeah. It's like,
just factory reset his phone. It's mine now.
just
Yes.
like whenever he gets in trouble, you confiscate his phone, right? But not actually. He just like makes up some random rule. It's like, ooh, you didn't listen to rule 367 of the Queendom of Hearts
Hearts of
rules.
Yule.
Yeah, and now
Also,
I have to confiscate your phone. I
Yeah.
don't make the rules, man.
We just
Also,
threaten
didn't
to
Cater
take the-
offer-
be like, give me your phone, or we go to Riddle.
yeah. But also, didn't Cater offer to buy us a phone back in, like, book 1?
I thought he offered to buy us a phone case.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say, I thought this was in the fic.
Maybe that. I don't
No,
know
I think that's
anymore.
canon, because I remember that. And I don't think I've hit that point in the fic yet. I don't know.
I
Anyway,
haven't read the
Yeah,
fic in
anyway.
forever, so.
yeah.
Anyway.
Me either. I really need to. Up next, we get one of the saddest scenes in the game, which is Reggie bringing home lots of food for his family and neighbors over break.
I don't think that's sad. Because
It
It's
is
a
to
little
me, because
sad.
it's because we get an idea of just how poor Reggie is and his neighborhood is.
I really don't think that's that sad, but that's also just because from my experience of working at a food place where stuff is supposedly supposed to expire on that day, everyone brings food home, so I don't really see that as sad. I just think he's just bringing food home because he doesn't want it to expire. He doesn't want to waste food.
No,
'cause he talks
says
about,
the reason
like-
he's doing it is because he wants his grandma and the neighborhood kids to have food during the holiday.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, to
I
have
Which
don't
good
they
remember
food.
that.
do say that he has 3 suitcases and 2 duffel bags with him.
Yeah.
So, like, it's a lot. Granted, we don't know how many of that is all food. I assume he probably only needs a duffel bag for his clothes, but
Mm-hmm.
Something tells me he doesn't even need a duffel bag. He's
I will
got
say,
like half
if
a
I'm
duffel
going
bag.
home for like a week break, like from here, I don't bring clothes home. And especially since they like have uniforms and stuff, I don't think they would have brought clothes to school, or at least not very many.
True. I didn't think about that.
Like over winter break, when I'm home for like a month, yeah, I'll bring my clothes home. But if like next week when I'm going home for midterm break, I don't bring any clothes home.
That's fair.
Yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, he feeds the
Jack,
entire neighborhood with.
Yeah. Jack takes his cactus home over his vacation,
He's so cute.
which is when we get introduced to his cactus, and I cry because he's so precious.
Oh my gosh, did you guys open his birthday thing yesterday?
I did, but I always skip through it.
It was so cute. He's like, my cactus bloomed a flower today. It was like it was giving me a birthday present. And then he was like, do you want to come see? And then we were like, yeah, we'll come see. And he's like, I can answer any questions you want. That was his birthday introduction. It was so freaking cute.
Okay, fuck it. I'm changing my headcanon. Fuck it. I'm changing my headcanon for what Jack's like what his career is. He's a fucking gardener. He loves his cactus too much.
He's a botanist.
Yeah, he's a botanist. I love him.
He reminds. Sorry, that reminds me of fucking Twilight. The first movie where she's moving to Seattle or Washington, not Seattle. She's living right outside of Seattle, but she's got a little cactus from Arizona, and she's like, to bring home with me. And then we never see it ever again. Probably killed it. Anyway.
Leona, on the other hand, only brings his phone and his wallet.
Makes sense.
Yeah, again, that's basically what I do. I just bring home, like if I'm only gonna be gone for a week or so, which I assume is their winter break. Like, yeah, I just bring my phone and my wallet and maybe...
your car.
I mean, like, that makes sense when you say it, but, like, everyone in the game commented on it. They're like, Leona, where's your bag? Like, you're only taking that? Like...
Yeah,
man,
I don't think they realize
what rich people do. Like,
I don't think they realize how rich he is. Like, obviously they know he's a prince, but they just don't realize how rich he is.
Yeah,
He probably does.
like,
he probably only carries cash for Ruggy. Like, he started putting cash in his wallet for Ruggy. That's my new headcanon.
probably just gave
Anyway,
Ruggy his card, and then he'd be like, Ruggy, what's this $1,000 charge on there?
he does give Ruggy his card.
yeah.
Like, all the time.
I feel like at a point he just starts giving him cash. Like, at least there's a limit on this one.
But, like, anything else I might bring home, like, my laptop, or my, like, I'll bring home a set of pajamas, because I only have so many pajamas. Like, Leona probably has
So much
3
money.
laptops back at his castle, and, like, he's got enough clothes.
Yeah. And if anything, he can go buy more.
Yeah.
And
So,
not only that,
I think it makes sense.
he's probably only sleeping the entire time he's there.
Yeah.
Like, maybe he'll say hi to his brother and his nephew, but I highly, highly doubt it. Unless he's forced to, you know. He's good just for sleeping.
I was gonna say, this is like a toddler. Like, Chica's gonna be climbing, like, all over him. Like, Uncle Leona, come play with me. He's not gonna have a choice.
I mean, my little sister, who's, like, in elementary school, like, that's her favorite thing to do, is to come wake me and our other sister up every morning. So, yeah. Anyway.
Where are we? Okay, we're literally not even halfway through and we're 30 minutes. Let's pick up the pace. Pick up the pace.
So Cater asks to stay with Trey, and then Trey says he's going to do a lot of baking, but he is not allowed to stay at Riddle's house. Or not allowed to go to Riddle's house.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
We get it, but very sad.
You make me sad. Since I read the book recently, I got more details, and I don't remember them all, but it's like the details that are about that are in the book. Just it's so much more sad than in the game. I literally cried. Yeah. So the Octatrio, though they have to stay at school. Ew. Floyd apparently makes a comment about Azul keeping Riddle as a pet, and then Cater and Trey have to stop Riddle from fighting Floyd. Why did they stop
what
him?
Happens is, so what happens is Riddle's like kind of saying he doesn't want to go home, and Floyd's just like, oh, you could just stay at Octagonal with us, Goldfish. Like, you're so tiny, Azul could just keep you as a pet. Like,
Ew.
No.
and then Riddle's just like, what did you say to me? And they're being like, Riddle, calm down. It's fine. Not here.
No, because I get his comment. His comment's low-key kind of funny. Like, he's giving him an option out. He's not trying to be mean. Like,
I mean, I know, but like, still could have phrased it differently. Why a pet? I don't know.
because he sees him as a goldfish.
Yeah.
He also just
Okay.
knows he's going to get a raise out of it, so.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably why they're holding him back. Okay. The reason that the Octatrio were staying at school is because the Coral Sea is partially frozen.
Which we talk about in our...
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about... I know I mentioned it, but I didn't explain it. So the reason... Talissa, our headcanon for the Octatrio was that they're Australian.
Yeah.
But they live in the North Sea, which is not Australia. And The Little Mermaid originally takes place in Denmark. So they're from Denmark
sense.
in my mind now.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't remember that. Like, I knew the Little Mermaid's from Denmark.
Mm-hmm. All right. We share Magicam accounts.
With Deuce and Ace. I think those are the only people we exchange it with, because everyone else has gone through the mirror at that point.
Well, Mal, you don't get my phone number. Basically.
Yeah. And then Sudden Snow.
Yeah,
Like,
we
it
just
starts
walked
snowing?
back.
Yeah.
I don't know, because we walked back to Ramshackle after this, and Grimm's just like, oh, look, now there's like a whole layer of fluffy white snow. So, like, it kind of implies that it just showed up after we left.
I feel
Fun.
like... Okay, so...
Or maybe that's just the first time he points it out.
I don't remember what event or book it was, but the Fairy Gala, that's what it was, where they take the gem that controls the AC and everything. I feel like they kind of turn off the weather control during winter break, because that's the most logical thing to do, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
That
maybe,
makes sense.
I'm not sure if it's like the entire campus, but it would make sense for the outside place to start snowing as soon as everyone leaves, because the AC's off, you know? Or the AC's on.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Whatever it is.
But we do still have the job of tending to the fire fairies so the building stays warm.
Yeah. So that's probably it. They turn off the crystal or whatever it was so that the crystal can get a break and not die out. But we still have to work with fire fairies so that the entire school doesn't freeze over.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Then we meet the fire fairies. I don't remember anything about that.
I don't either.
Just that it happens.
It's just like a one scene thing. They're just like, oh, you must be the fire fairies. Here's a log to keep you. Here's a log for you. And then we find the Scravia students cooking in the kitchen.
This is
Literally like 2 sentences.
This is my favorite part of the cat video, because they're just doing the little dance with the music and it's so cute.
I do also want to make this comment that I did not hate Jamil before reading this book. I did not.
Well, I mean,
fair.
There's
he
not
only
much to
had,
know
like,
about
two
him.
sentences before
Yeah.
this book.
No,
It was literally just the like, I injured myself before spell drive,
yeah.
and that was it.
I didn't like
He
him,
didn't have
but
much to go off
I did
of,
not hate him
but-
until this.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
no. Alright. So the next point is Kalim likes spicy food. Which,
Obviously.
It makes sense, but I also feel like he would have a weaker tolerance to it. But then when they're cooking, the like student adds like a scoop of spices in, and they're like, "Oh, is this good?" And he's like, "No, Kalim likes it spicier. Add another scoop."
It's probably
holy
mild.
shit.
What?
Wei Wuxian is just, the main character from MDZS is just a combination of Kalim and Jamil.
It's the Callie Jamie love child.
No.
Yeah, basically. I hate that it's taken me this long to notice that.
Okay.
Anyway, the reason that brought that up is because one of Wei Wuxian's like defining things is that he has a super high tolerance to spice. Yeah. So Jamil lets us eat with them as long as we help him cook.
Fair.
Sure. We need food.
Feed
I can- I can-
me.
Eat.
Yeah. We need food and I can run an oven. Sure.
Why would he?
Uh,
Never mind. Keep going.
no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, why would he trust a stranger (quotation marks) to cook food that's going to be given to Clem?
I think it was more like you guys can like chop vegetables or something. Like I don't think we were technically doing any of the cooking per se, just like the prep work.
Yeah, I guess. Okay.
I don't know.
And he
but it's
just
also like
poisoned
he's
us all later
overseeing
by feeding
everything.
it to Grim.
Like he's still overseeing everything. I assume he's still tasting everything before it actually goes to Kalim.
Probably.
So.
They make an offhanded comment that he did that by feeding it to Grim.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what he does. He has Grim eat first.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they finally give it to Kalim, and he's just like, "Don't worry, your food's like already been poison tested." And Grim's just like, "Is that why you were giving me everything to try?"
Yeah. All right. So the house warden, meaning Kalim, ordered everyone in Scravia to stay in the dorm over break.
Well,
Which is
did
at
you,
this point just left up to a mystery because when we meet Kalim, he's the nicest person we've met this whole fucking time.
you
Why
just
would he
kinda
do that?
missed a few.
Child.
I think you skipped a few.
Did I? No.
No.
Yeah. You
What ones did I miss?
you went from. Wait, what?
Because it's Jamil lets us eat with him, helps him cook, and then it's the house warden ordered everyone to stay out the dorm over break.
Okay, so we're not at Scrabia yet.
No, but the next
Yeah,
one
we,
is
like,
I would die
just
in
walked
Scravia's
in.
temperature.
Yeah.
Which,
Because
yes.
they comment, it's like a sauna in there. They're like, "Oh, it feels like midsummer in here," and I'm like, "In the middle of winter, I would die."
Yesterday it was so fucking warm. I stayed inside in the nice AC.
It's freezing
If
here.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was like
I stay
80.
inside like all day, so.
It's so cold here. I have my flannel on, and I debated putting my hoodie on under my flannel.
Oh.
And then it stormed this morning, or not even this morning, like, it stopped storming right as we were starting to record.
It's like sprinkling outside right now, but it's kind of stopped. But that's it. I kept getting so many things on my phone where it's like, "It's gonna rain today. It's gonna rain today," and it rains like 6 hours after it gives me all those warnings. It's like rain in the next hour. It's like you are so far off on this forecast, but okay.
Yeah. But, I too would die in Scravia's temperature. I fully, I don't care that I am the only femme-presenting person here. I'm taking off my jacket and my vest, and I'm unbuttoning my shirt, at least.
You know
For
that
sure.
one It's a screenshot. I doubt you guys have seen it, but it was like a video of this guy. He was like exercising, and then a comment was like, "Put your tits away," and then he like he replied to the comment where he's just sitting like with shirtless, and he's just like staring into the camera, and that's the entire TikTok. And I've seen
Beautiful.
so many fan arts of this, and it's beautiful, and I love it. Anyway. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. This is why that also though is like my one complaint with I would be a Scarabia student. I would not fucking survive.
Just like I
In
wouldn't
that
survive in October.
Yeah, no,
The way we talked about that yesterday. Yeah.
all right.
I wouldn't survive in Hartsville just because of all the rules. Like, I'm sure the dorm's great, but like, Riddle
Well, he
would be yelling
lacks
at me
it.
for drinking water
he
and
lets
not
it.
tea.
He lets
He
up.
lets up after book 1, and it's more so like if you're in the dorm, you have to follow the rules, but like not super strictly. Yeah, like he doesn't care what you do outside of the dorm.
Exactly.
think.
I just couldn't stay in my dorm.
Yeah, you just go there for like
Sleep.
nighttime and for like the parties and stuff.
But you have to make sure to brush your teeth before Trey like comes get you.
Yes.
Trey just
Okay.
hunting me down in the library because I haven't brushed my teeth yet.
All right. Oh god. So the next bullet point is Kalim is upset that Jamil didn't tell him about guests because he would have prepared a whole banquet for us.
As he should.
Yeah. I love Kalim. Next bullet point is Jamil poison testing the food, which he did on Grimm.
Heavily implied, yes.
They casually mentioned that it's been 4 years since the last time someone tried to poison him, and he was put into a coma for 2 weeks.
Womp womp. Poor baby.
Yeah, he's literally like, Jamil, you don't need to poison check my food. It's been so long since that happened to me. It's like it's been 4 years since that happened, and I was in a comatose state for 2 weeks. We're
I
fine.
thought that was
Which means that they were 13.
I thought that was Jamil who got in a coma for 2 weeks. Because they tried to poison Clem, and Jamil poison tested it.
Yeah,
Because
that's what I remembered after I started saying it. But I think, at least when I just skimmed it, I interpreted it as he was put in the comatose state. But yeah, it probably was Jamil that was put in that.
Yeah.
womp womp.
They were 13 at that point. Because if it was
Sadness.
4 years ago, they're 17 now.
Yeah.
Damn. Kalim feeds Grim crackers. We got a reference to Iago
Just
there.
forces them in his
Yeah.
mouth. He keeps putting like blue cheese on it and shoving it in his mouth, and Grim's just like, I don't want to eat the mold.
Yeah. There's a reference to how the Sultan treats Iago. Because he does the same thing.
It's funny.
So we find out that Scarabia got last in both spell drive and the exams. Which I genuinely remember like someone saying that Scarabia tends to do pretty good on exams.
Yeah, that's why they wanted to stay behind. Because I think... I don't remember. I think it was they usually do pretty well on exams, but because they were so down in spirits, quotation mark, over spell drive, they did poorly on the exams, and they didn't really do poorly. It's just they didn't. Not a ton
They
of
got
them.
the lowest marks.
Yeah, they got the lowest marks, and that's because of Azul. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. I could see them taking last in spell drive. But it's just like they took last, they had the lowest marks in the exams over Savannah Claw.
but a lot of the people in Savannah Claw took Azul's deal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you have to think it would be all the people that didn't study that are going to be like, oh, give me the study guide.
Yeah. Alright.
All the jocks.
Okay.
Cleared that up for you.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, the next one is Kalim saying he'll let everyone go home.
He just says that to you and Grim.
Yeah.
Because they're like, why are you here? And he's like, oh, you're right. Like, my dad always said, like, study hard, play hard, but know when to do, like, which one. I'll just send everyone home. But he says that when we're, like, in the hallway.
Yeah.
So the other students don't hear.
Does it say it here? Keep going. I'm just reading.
Yeah. So the next point, we can finally talk about something we've been talking about for a while. Kaleem's dad gave money to the school when he was enrolled to redecorate the dorm.
I'm not surprised.
I want to know what it looked like before, because I genuinely can't picture any other way that a dorm inspired by Jafar would be decorated.
Which, you can speak first, Kaden.
I think it was probably close to the same. They just made it bigger and more lavish. Because
yeah, that's probably what it is. Because when reading the dialogue, like, Kaleem just says he gave money for them to, like, repaint it.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, as far as Kaleem's aware, like, they didn't do anything drastic. They just made it look nicer. But, I mean, maybe that is a case of, like, they completely renovated the dorms, and Kaleem just thought they were putting on a coat of paint. Like,
yeah.
So you know how I said it stopped storming?
Yeah, it just started storming.
It didn't. Yeah. At least I think that's what that
still
was.
storming.
Okay.
Yay. Heads up, I fucking hate storms. So if I'm a little jittery for the rest of this recording, that's why.
Okay.
Okay. Well, let me know if you want me to take over reading at any point.
No, you should be good. I'll just, because we're gonna take a break in between, so I'll just move down to the basement for the next one. Where are we? So next up we have all a sim versus just a sim. Do they talk about that? They explained that, right?
I don't remember this. What?
Yeah, so when they're walking, Kaleem, refers to himself as, like, the Allah Sim family or something. Ingram's just like, I thought your name was a Sim, not Allah Sim. And he's like, well, it is a Sim, and Al is, like, an added title. So, like, Al means son. So, like, my name is, like, Kaleem, son of a Sim. So it's called Allah Sim. So, like, they're both correct.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, like, Allah Sim is just more official. But he's just like, but you can call me Kaleem, so it doesn't matter either way.
Mm.
Yeah. To go along with that, the reverse, the female version is Bint, which means daughter of. So that's why, my second gen OC, our second gen OC, Kaleem's daughter is Aliyah Bint Asim. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. What? Did I not?
I don't know.
I don't know. Or at least, I don't know if they mentioned that
I know
in
the second gen, but I probably can't tell you all their names, like.
Yeah. I don't know if they mentioned that in game, but, like, that's how it is in real life. So, yeah. That's also, I think when people gender swap, Kaleem in, like, a gender bend AU, he's Kaleem Bint Asim. Yeah.
I've never seen anything where they actually, like, said the last name. I've, like, the gender swaps I see around Pinterest, so it's just fan art. Like, they don't put the name on it.
Yeah, I don't read fic, but I read gender swap fic, but I see it sometimes. So yeah.
That's fair.
Fuck, I think I just fucked up. The next one is we only have around 100 helpers at home.
That's a comment he makes, because he's like, oh yeah, we have servants at home, but not a lot. Like, we only have around 100.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, what the heck?
For how big his house is, that is not a lot. Because you have to think about,
and he does,
how many of those are tending to the zoo, how many of those are tending to, like, butlers, like tending to siblings, and seeing as how many siblings he's got, there's got to be at least one nanny for each sibling.
Yeah, because the next bullet point is that he stopped counting how many he has, but in the Japanese version, they specify that it's more than 30, or he stopped counting at 30, meaning he has closer to like 40 siblings. But he has at least 30 siblings.
Okay, so there is another comment. I don't remember where, but there is another comment made somewhere that he could fill up a dorm with just his siblings.
Yeah, I remember that comment.
But in Endless Halloween Night, or the Spectral Soiree, we get... I don't remember the exact numbers, hang on. But we find out that like half of every dorm is missing. And it's like a couple hundred people.
Yeah.
So...
I'm assuming...
Which comment is correct, Yana? Which one is correct, Yana?
Well, I'm assuming that he means he can fill up. Like, I know most of them share rooms. So I'm assuming he means he's going to put one kid in every room. Which automatically divides the amount of kids we need by at least half. Because if there's 200 kids and one of them's the house warden, the other one's the vice warden, they get their own rooms, and then everybody else has a roommate. So that would leave 98 is... I can't divide that real quick in my brain. Give me a sec. I need math. Math. So 98 divided by 2, that's 49 rooms. Oh my god, why can't I think of that? 49 rooms. So that would assume he would have maybe about 50 siblings. Maybe 51.
No, because it's not like there are 100 students in every dorm. It's like there are at least 100 people missing, and that's half of every dorm. So like there are at least 100 students missing from each dorm. And that's half of each dorm.
Then that would be about 100 siblings, right? If we're going by the logic that there is 2 people in every room except for the house warden and the vice warden, right? We will go with that logic. Because I don't think he knows that people share rooms. And I know for a fact that Scrabia has a lot of empty rooms because they talk about it. And so does Savannah Claw.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe instead of like 200 students, there's about 150. Or something like that. But I really doubt that he knows that students are sharing rooms. Like, he might, but I feel like he would not expect his siblings to share rooms.
I guess.
But also, it's completely possible that there's over 100 siblings.
Yeah.
Who knows? Unimportant. Back to the bullet point.
Next bullet point.
Because we are only like a third of the way through, and we're already
We're
at an
actually
hour.
only 1/4 of the way through.
Yeah. Not
Even worse.
All right. So we find out that Kaleem was sent to school with a lot of golden treasures, which includes the magic carpet, which leads us to the carpet ride. Yeah. And then...
It's a very pretty ride.
And then Jamil pulls Kaleem aside to talk before dinner. And then when they get back from that, Kaleem starts saying they need to work 5 times harder instead of sending them home. And Jamil is all, what's the fucking
That's
siren
not what
in
we discussed.
Suffering say? Oh no!
Oh,
My best
no, why
imitation
would you
of the
ever
siren
say
from
that?
Suffering.
Yeah, he's literally just standing off to the side like, that's not what we discussed. What are you doing? I'm just like, you little liar. Like,
Yeah. Again, my best imitation of the siren from Suffering from Epic the Musical.
oh no.
Oh no!
Which random comment, when I sent that text about the new Epic Mickey game, my phone automatically put Epic in all caps.
Nice!
Okay, I just put my bullet points into numbers, and we are on bullet point number 44.
Out of
153.
Woo! Okay, so they end up making us participate because we're there.
Yeah.
Um,
They're like, you're here, you must participate.
yeah.
I would just leave. I'd just be like, I don't need to be here.
we
Yeah.
try. We do try. I think we do try, and we.
Not at this point.
Yeah, I think that's
That's how
later.
we go to
That's
bed.
later
Oh,
when they
right.
lock us in the room.
Yeah.
We just go with it.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I skipped one. It turns into 5 hours of studying and 4 hours of training. Which does that mean?
Which before it was just 6 hours of combined both of them.
Yeah. Does training mean like physical,
Yeah.
like working out, or like magic training?
Yeah, it's
was
like
both.
Because either way,
it's
I ain't
both.
doing
It's
that
like
shit.
the marching and the duels.
What?
It's like the marching in the desert and then the duels.
Oh. Yeah, I ain't doing that shit.
Absolutely fucking not. They probably started it because, like, you and Graham, they probably joined it first because they're like, oh, we did this in Savannah Claw. It's just their thing. We'll join. And then they were upset about it.
Yeah.
I'd be upset about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they say later, I'm going to skip to some bullet points, that they make us march 10 kilometers, which is about 6 miles, just over 6 miles in the desert. It's a little unclear whether or not that's 10 kilometers there and back, or there and then back again. I think it's there and back. And then they also specify that when they do it in the morning, it's before breakfast,
Oh.
and half the time they don't really have water.
Yeah. No, because
That's like so
Yeah.
unhealthy.
Like, no one's grabbing a water
yeah,
bottle
no,
for them.
because when they get to the oasis, that's the whole thing, is that Klim fills up the oasis for them so that they could all drink water.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they do it the next day, they ask Kaleem for water, and he, like, snaps on them because he's like, I'm not your faucet. And Jamil's like, it's fine, I brought this camel that we just have with us. It's packed with water bottles, pass them around.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Like, so he can pretend
So
that he's
fucking
on that.
shady.
But, like, I'm just thinking, I'm like, I would have, like, thrown up or passed out at this point. Like,
What do they do
Yeah.
with the students that
What?
throw up and pass out? Because I know someone's doing that. I mean,
they get thrown on the camel.
I get it.
That's what the camel's for.
Oh, sorry.
I will say, we didn't bring a fucking change of clothes. Everyone else is in their dorm
Yeah.
uniform, yeah. We're just in the school uniform, which is slacks, a button-up, a vest, and a blazer.
Me personally, I'd be ripping those pants up to make shorts.
Yeah. I'm like, if I'm here and you
Honestly,
want me
though.
to do that, give me one of your uniforms. Because I'm doing that shit in slacks, a button-up, a vest, and a blazer, half of which is black or dark gray.
Yeah.
Okay, but knowing our luck, you'd be like, give me one of your uniforms, and you're getting, like, this oversized sweater.
Okay, and
I'd be so angry.
it's better. Okay.
if my options were school uniforms or, like, a sweatshirt in the sauna and all that, I would either be staying in the uniform, or I'm just like, screw it, you guys can see me in a bra, because this is not
Yeah.
happening.
I don't think I'd care. I don't think they'd care.
I mean, no.
I don't know. Kaleem definitely doesn't care. I doubt Jamil cares.
Yeah.
Kaleem is either the person where he just, like, doesn't register it, or he would be doing everything he can not to
No,
look at
he
you.
doesn't register it. You can tell by the way he dresses and
Yeah.
talks. He doesn't register it.
Yeah. He doesn't even, like, notice, I think, that he's off dress code most of the time, because he wears his sweater instead of his blazer.
Mhm.
I feel like that's such a minor change, though. Like, I don't think he'd be dress coded for that.
I don't know. The one time I went to a private school, like, they dress coded. They actually did dress code us for the most minor things.
Or
Like,
yeah.
I wore, one day, I think I wore a jumper that it was the right color, but it was made of not one of the fabrics that was on, like, the list.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, change. And I had to wear a gym uniform.
Oh my god. as a Japanese school, we're going to assume this is a Japanese school. The Japanese are not known
But it's
to be.
not.
We're assuming because it kind of is, okay? From like the way they do stuff, it's a little bit like it. But the Japanese are not known for being lenient with their dress code, like at all. Like at all.
I mean, yeah, but then every single, like, all the characters wear their dress codes, wear their uniform differently in some way. Like, some people don't wear the blazer. Some people tie their ties into a bow. Some people just don't wear their ties.
Yeah, the only two people... There are 3 people who add something to the dress code, though, and that is Kaleem, Jamil, and Idia. And we're not counting Ortho, because he's a robot. Everyone else is, like, removing pieces from their uniform, if they're not wearing the exact uniform.
Those 3, hear me out, or at least 2 of them are rich as fuck, and they pay the school a shit ton of money, so no teacher is gonna tell them off. And Jamil, he's a servant of one of that rich ass fucker. You're not gonna tell him off either, because you know what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
That family's gonna pull their money. They don't want that. So that's how they're getting away with it, first of all. And second of all, I doubt there is an actual strict dress code because it's a magic school. They're probably like, here is your dress code. Figure out how you want to feel comfortable with that.
Let me pull up the fucking book. Because they talk about it in the book.
I just chugged a Mountain Dew and now I have the hiccups. I'm sorry, guys.
Ow, I just need my desk.
Don't do that.
Where is it? Too late. Oh my god, where is it? I knew I should have annotated this book while I was reading it. I don't know why I didn't.
This hat I'm working on it's really cute.
Okay. So the school uniform is, yeah, there's the black jacket, white shirt. There's no mention of the pants, actually, even though everybody except for Lilia has the same pants.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. There's actually a vest to complete the set, but those are distributed by the dorms. Which also makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess they don't talk about it as much as I thought they did.
So it's probably like a soft dress code of obviously those things, and then you can remove things as needed and add things as needed.
Yeah. But then, like, again, Jamil has a hoodie on. Jamil and Idia both have hoodies on, and Kalim has, like, his sweater and all of his jewelry and his other belt and everything.
Yeah. But first of all, Idia doesn't even show up for class, so nobody
knows what he's wearing.
And when he does, he's in a tablet. So no one knows what he's wearing. They just assume he's probably maybe wearing something, hopefully.
That's an interesting premise for a fic.
You're welcome. Actually, I'm going to write that down. That's going into one of my new fic things that I'm going to do.
You're writing that one. That's not a topic I would write, but it definitely is a premise for a fic.
They're like, Idia, turn on your camera. Can't. Why not?
Yeah. Anyway, we're getting really off track. Okay. I'm gonna skip some because we have already talked about that.
Yeah.
So Jamil says that Kaleem has been having terrible mood swings, and he asks us to help Scarabia. Like, I don't know what that means, but like.
So he was saying he's like.
I know what the mood swings means. I don't know what the
happened in Heartsabule. He was saying there's like a similar situation happened in Heartsabule about, the dorm being run by like a tyrant, and you fix that situation, so like help us fix this.
Oh yeah, okay. Yep. And then because of that,
And then we agree, and Grimm's like, what the hell? No, we don't agree. And we're like, yes, we do.
but then because of that, we are now spending winter break in Scarabia.
Of course we are.
And because of that, we're no longer allowed to leave.
I fucking hate
So
this
when
place.
we try to
We
leave,
tried to go to the mirror
they
chamber
force
and
us
they yell
back
at
in the
us.
room and lock the door on us from the outside. Yay.
Mm-hmm.
This is where
And then we try to call.
Yeah.
Nope. Go ahead.
Oh, this is
I was
where I
just gonna
start to hate
continue
Jamil
reading.
because I can tell something's off, right? I can tell.
I mean, everybody can tell something's up.
everyone
I
can
mean-
tell, but this is where I start to hate him.
I knew the second I started reading this. Because I knew what his signature spell was, and I already knew about the betrayal, so I was just like, reading this, I was like, dude, you're so obvious.
Yeah, I don't think I knew about his
Spoilers.
signature spell going in, but I also think I had rewatched Aladdin very soon before watching or before playing the
I don't
book.
wanna get us
So I was
copyrighted.
like, his signature spell is almost definitely something to do with hypnosis.
It was kind of obvious. The only
And it just straight up is hypnosis.
the only thing I didn't get was Clem's eyes changing. Like I didn't get that. I didn't see that. I didn't notice.
Yeah, because they're
I noticed that right at the end of book 3.
mhm.
I was like, why is this dude missing his pupils?
I just
Yeah,
assumed.
I do think they could have been a bit more obvious with it because it is just changing different shades of red. I feel like he should have had like brown eyes or something instead of red eyes.
But that would be too
That'd
obvious.
be too obvious.
Fair.
I thought he just didn't have pupils when he was under.
But also,
What's
people
up?
don't really
Yeah.
notice your eye color. And I have actually practiced this because I've been working at the place I work since April. And I got my new contacts today and I was wearing them. And this is the second time I've worn them. And they're colored contacts. They make my eyes green. And literally all my coworkers stopped me to say my eyes look extra pretty today. And I was like, thanks, I'm wearing contacts. And they're like, wait, what color are your eyes? So I know for a fact these students don't know what color Clem's eyes are, so they just assume it's normal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's valid. I want to say
I
you
do have blue eyes. My eyes are green right now.
Okay. I was like, I want to say it's this because I feel like I remember you saying something when we were little that they turn like black when
They
you're
do get
angry.
really dark when I'm mad. It's kind of funny. But
The color of my eyes.
see, I don't know.
Brown.
Yeah. They're
Brown is my default guess. So
yeah, actually I have Oneida eyes, so they're like a very, very, very deep brown that are like almost black.
Mm.
It's like my one
Okay,
Oneida
guys, what
trait
color are my
is
eyes?
my eyes. I have no fucking clue.
I'm not sure if that's doxing yourself. I think it kind of is because that's
No.
Isn't that a region specific thing?
No. There are Oneida
okay.
where we are, and there are Oneida in different areas as well.
Oh,
okay.
If you want me to get into my tribe's whole background, I can. That I won't do on the podcast. But fuck off. Loud thunder, sorry. But like I can.
I just figured.
Anyway,
Yeah. Okay. Move on.
Okay, Kaden, what color are my
I think
eyes?
they're kind of green, like a hazel.
Yeah, currently they're looking kind of green. Yeah, they're hazel. Technically, they like some days they're really green, some days they're really brown. Right now, in my camera, they look kind of gray, but I've never had gray eyes before, so we're gonna say they're on the greener side. The lighting down here sucks.
anyway,
Okay, you now know all our eye colors.
yeah. We try to call Crowley, but we just get voicemail.
Makes sense.
And then
Where he says he's on vacation, like just straight up.
nice. And then they come and they yell at us for not being awake at 6 a.m., which, considering I can barely get myself out of bed for my 8 a.m. classes, like, no. You are not waking me up at 6 a.m. I am a fucking rock.
I wake up an hour before I have work at 4:30 in the morning, and usually I wake up at 3:30. I go to the bathroom. I go back to bed. I set an alarm for 5 minutes before I have to leave. I take Cookie outside after falling back asleep and then being woken up by the alarm. I take Cookie outside, and then I come back inside and I put her in a kennel and I leave. That is what I do. So I literally I just wake up. Yeah, I wake up to go back to sleep.
Yeah, no, I fully, like, I have alarms that start going off at 6:30 and then consistently go off for over an hour, only for me to get up at 7:50 with an 8 a.m. class.
That's hilarious.
All right. So we had some technical difficulties that meant we had to split this up over 2 recordings, but yeah. All right, so you just want to go right ahead or
Yeah.
continue from where we left off? All right. So last we left off, we were at the Oasis. Where was it? Okay. The next note, because we talked about some of those notes earlier, so we'll skip over a couple. But the next note is more crackers, which I assume is Kaleem feeding Grim crackers.
He just keeps shoving crackers at Grim.
That's hilarious. Of course, Grim's eating them.
Specifically crackers with blue cheese on them, and that's the part he doesn't like.
Which is so weird because he eats fucking rocks. He eats black tar looking rocks, and he's worried about mold. Okay, Grim.
Don't question the cat.
He fucking deserves it. At this point, though, Kaleem is back to his sunny self, as the note says.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
because that's what they say. That's a quote.
Oh, cool.
I think Azul says it. I think Azul says he's back to his sunny self.
Azul isn't with us at this point.
Yeah. This is after the first 10K.
Yeah.
When does Azul?
I don't know.
Azul comes in soon.
Later?
Okay.
Yeah.
Then students say that. I'm confused on where we are.
That's okay.
I feel like Azul does say that at some point.
Maybe.
I mean, probably. But yeah, so here we get evidence of the mood swings that Jamil was mentioning earlier, as just minutes ago, Kaleem was a fucking asshole, and now he's a sweetheart again. I wonder why.
It's so suspicious.
Yeah.
I hate Jamil. Sorry, I just had to add that.
We're well aware that you hate him.
If you hadn't already marked it off.
You get to mark it off again, obviously.
I guess. Yeah.
I don't have the bingo card in front of me.
We do have, the next note is Jamil won't let Kaleem get his own ice cream.
He keeps not letting him do things.
Why? Such a weird thing.
It's literally, he's just like, oh, we have ice cream in the freezer. I'll go grab it. And Jamil's just like, no, you shouldn't be getting your own ice. You shouldn't be getting your own things. Like, you're the head of the Allisons. And he's like, I just need to take it out of the freezer. Like, I can go get it. And he's like, no, I'll go get the ice cream. If you want, you can help me carry the bowls because they're going to go get ice cream for everyone. And he agrees to that. And then they go to the kitchen. And I'm just like, dude, I know what you're doing, but like, let him get things on his own.
Literally, to me, it feels like Jamil's forcing himself into the servant role. Like, he doesn't
like, that's the main reason. That's one of the main reasons I hate him, is because he's forcing himself into the servant role. Like, Clem doesn't care. He just wants to be friends. He doesn't care about if Jamil's acting like a servant or not. Like, clearly in this section where he's like, oh, don't act like a servant. We're classmates right now. He's still doing it. And he feels like he has to. But we all know he doesn't. So he's just, like forcing the pressure on himself. Because, like, what are his parents going to do? Like, he was told not to act like a servant. So that would be going against...
I'm pretty sure you've used this reasoning at some point, though. But, like, he's spent his whole life in a place of servitude. He's basically been brainwashed. It's basically, like, cult psychology. Like, this is how he knows how to live, is to serve Kaleem. So, I
mean, yeah, but, like, if you're serving someone and they told you something, you should be doing that. But, like, I also get it. But they've been at school for 2 years. He should have dropped the act by now. He's just doing it so that he can go through with his plan. Like, at this point, because I'm not sure if he kind of stops being a servant more so after this. I don't think that's really recognized at all.
I think it's like he still does stuff for Kaleem, but he's obviously annoyed about it.
Yeah.
And like Kaleem's
he lets his emotions show more.
It's one of the things where it's like Kaleem's like trying to not make him do stuff, and then Jamil still has to do things, and then just makes it obvious that he's annoyed about having to do said things. They're both trying. They're just not good at communicating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so you basically said that next note word for word, so I'll just skip to the next one. They go to get ice cream, and then they come back and yell at everyone to do the dishes.
And go on another walk. No, I think that one's a battle. Either way, they yell at us for having like dishes everywhere, and then we have to go exercise.
Yeah. And we get locked in our room again.
Yay.
So, yay.
I love this next scene so much.
I have so many questions about this next scene.
Which I assume you're talking about the next note being Grimm tries to dig our way out with a spoon.
Yes.
Something's telling me he's imbuing magic into the spoon to make it dig, like actually dig.
I mean, that's fair.
That is valid reasoning, but I just want to know, what are their floors made of? That you can't tell me you could come to my house and we have hardwood, we have fluffy carpet, we have the like carpet over concrete thing. Like, please just tell me where you're going to go kneel down and dig to the next room.
It is also just kind of like a trope, though, that like anytime a character gets locked up, they try to dig themselves out with some like a highly unlikely,
like a spoon or a shank.
Yeah, like a spoon or a shank. Or this is so dumb, but don't judge me. The scene that comes to mind when I think of this trope is the scene from Jessie where they get stuck in mall jail and they try to carve their way out. Oh my god, it's literally like one of my favorite episodes
of this. Vegas
they
memories.
Get stuck in mall jail, and I think one of the kids, I don't remember which one.
There's Robbie, Emma, Luke, and
I know. Jessie was my childhood.
Little girl's name was.
So I remember all of the. I remember all the kids. There's, in order of age, it's Zuri, Robbie, Luke, and then Emma. But
Zuri.
It's probably Luke. Honestly, it's probably it might even have been Jess. I don't remember. It was somebody tries to like chisel their way out with a fucking Christmas decoration, one of those giant foam candy canes.
Okay, I feel like that's Luke, or no, that might be a Robbie thing. Like when he's like stressing out.
No,
I don't think it was Emma Robbie. Or something though. Like
no, Emma went.
Okay, fuck it. I'm YouTubing this shit. I need to know now.
Okay. On that topic, like I do know, like it's theoretically possible because I know people eventually, like dig a hole in their chisel a hole in their jail cell. But these are things that take months.
Time.
They take lots of time. And it says by morning they have a hole big enough for him to fit 2 of his paws in.
Okay, but 2 paws is like
It's Jesse.
really.
Jesse's just the one that
Yeah.
no kids, it's just Jesse. That makes more
I
sense,
think-
honestly.
From how big he is, I'm assuming his paws are about the size of Cookie's paws, right? So that's not massive. That's maybe 6 inches. And I genuinely think he could do it because he is a monster and he's got that magic, right? So he's probably imbuing magic into the spoon, first of all, without even noticing. And he's also got like
Fair.
strength. I have a feeling he's got some strength in him, like stronger than the average human, you know? So I expect him to have at least a hole big enough to fit 1 paw in by morning, but 2 is really good. So he must have been working at that.
I mean,
Obviously he was, but
okay, yes, but then in skipping notes, by like the next day, he has a hole big enough for them to get out.
well, once you get like 6 inches, you're good because then it starts falling off. And I have a theory that because of this, I have a theory that I believe the like palace is made out of sandstone.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been assuming.
I mean, I assumed it was kind of like one of those materials, but like, you know.
Because I feel like that's how they build those types of castles. I know they're not actually called castles, they're called something else, but I don't remember what they're called. But that's kind of what they build them out of because that's what they have.
I mean, yeah.
Or that might be like a whole different type of culture. I don't think that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah. But I'm headcanoning that it's made out of sandstone because that just makes more sense and it looks like sandstone.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair.
And sandstone's
Alright.
so easy to break down.
Yeah. Alright. So we have the Grimdester to dig this out, they dig a hole. Okay, so next note is Kaloum refusing us water, which is followed by the students saying they want Jamil to be house warden.
Yeah, so they go on another long walk, and that's where like they're like Grim's like, "Oh, William, use your spell, give us some water." And he's like, "I'm not your faucet. How dare you?" And then Jamil hands out water bottles because he's such a good vice house warden. And then all the students are saying they want Jamil to be house warden, and he's like, "You can't say that. Like, what if Kaleem hears you? Like, you shouldn't be speaking those things. You shouldn't be thinking that."
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how premeditated this was for Jamil. Because if you have a house warden for 2 years, that's like, well, a year and a half. That's acting pretty normal. And then after a spell drive tournament, or after your finals, and whatever it was, they just like flip a switch completely. I feel like you should know something's wrong. Like, they obviously kind of mention something's wrong, but they don't really care to figure out what.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Jamil's just going, it's like, oh, it's just because of this, and it's just because of spell drive and exams that he's suddenly all focused on this and such hardcore, like, Jamil, this is something you gotta be, like, easing them into, you know? Just, like, very slowly have him, like, lose his temper a little bit. Like, just a little bit, you know, make it, you know, like, yes, he's bubbly, but I mean, on sometimes if he gets really mad, he's prone to outbursts. Like, you gotta do something like that. So, like, they know it's a possibility.
Maybe
Like,
they maybe they just think that because he's a rich kid, he thinks everything should be his way. Because that could also be a reason. Because most entitled Nepo babies, which of course that's what Clem is, are usually entitled for obvious reasons. So they probably just think, oh, he's just starting to get angry because he's entitled to our good grades and our winning at spell drive.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Alright. So the next note is Jamil giving Kalim sleepy time tea so he can hold a meeting.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
just low-key
remember
drugs
this.
him.
Oh, so we're just
They
shrugging.
held a meeting in the like common area or something, and they're kind of like, what if Kalim wakes up or something, and he's like, no, don't worry, I gave him some herbal tea so he'll sleep more deeply.
What a load of bullshit.
I'm just like, oh, you're just like low-key drugging him. Let's go.
Aren't you supposed to stop him from being poisoned? Maybe do your job correctly.
Just pulls out the sleepy time tea.
Yeah.
Alright. Oh shit. I keep losing track. They left
I keep
Kalim as
going.
house warden before the mood swings.
Yeah, they said he was such a great house warden. I keep going to say what number these points are because I switched them to numbered in my notes app, but that is not how I sent them in Discord. But for the next ones, I probably will just start sending them numbered.
Points.
I'll start sending them numbered.
No, it's okay. It's also because I keep looking away to look at the flower that I'm knitting.
That's fair.
But the next one is Jamil refusing to challenge Kalim for the house warden position.
Because they all keep saying that you should challenge him and you should be house warden. Like, you do all the job anyway. And he's like, no. And he does say the reason is like, no, like, I have some... Okay, sorry if you can hear this on the recording, but we're babysitting a child right now, and they are running down our halls, and I am in the basement. So you can just hear the thump, 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 thump of the floorboards as they're probably trying to get them to bed. But so they say you should challenge him for house warden, and he says the reason that, like, no, I couldn't even, like, fathom this. He does say it's because, like, his family has worked for the Allison family for generations, so, like, this would just be, like, unthinkable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he does say that's part of the reason.
Yeah. Alright. And then the next point is explains how each dorm gets a house warden.
And then proceeds to only list one.
Yeah. Pomfior makes potent poison.
Yeah, it's just whoever can make the most potent poison, they get to be house warden.
Who tests that?
How did they test that?
Who drinks the poison and is like, this one's gonna kill me in 2 seconds. But this one's killing me in 1. Oh no, this one's killing me now. Help. You know?
I'm sure they probably, like, dump it on a plant or something, but I'm just picturing them being like, freshman, you didn't do your homework yet. Get over here.
We need help debating this. Or they just get someone who's like, I don't know. You're just like...
I mean, Cruel is the alchemy teacher.
True. They probably just have him judge.
He's probably pretty immune to a good portion of poison. Something tells me that.
Yeah. I also would like to point out, if that's the case, I feel like Vil basically cheated, though, considering that is his signature spell.
Vil wouldn't cheat for that, though. The way Vil acts, he would not cheat for that.
Fair.
Like, he uses it to keep people in check, but he doesn't... I don't see him using it unless he's, like, super angry, you know, like he was with Nej.
He would be the person that he's like, here's the potion that I brewed for that, and if that's not good enough for you, here's my signature spell.
Yeah.
Which one you want to test?
In a sense, it's not cheating because that's his magic. He can't do anything about that.
I mean, okay, cheating wasn't the right word. I just mean, like, he had a natural advantage.
Yeah.
That, like, the other students wouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, I feel like that's kind of the same as Riddle, like, you're in a magic duel, and he just goes, no magic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel
like that's along the same lines.
I think
I think it only explained Pomfure because we don't know about Pomfures yet. Like, we know how the other three got theirs. I think it's explained how Leona got his, but we already
I
know
don't
those
remember how Leona
three.
got it.
So for some reason,
I feel like they don't technically say how they specifically got House Warden. Like, we know how Riddle
do.
got House Warden.
they
How
do.
did Azul become House Warden?
He made a contract with the old House Warden. We talked about that.
I didn't know that.
We talked about
I
that.
don't remember that.
I think it's mentioned that Leona just fights the other House Warden because he wants the biggest room. Biggest.
Well, that's just how Savannah Claw works.
Yeah.
Is
Just a
if you
fist
want to
fight.
be House Warden, I mean, that's how the whole school works, but specifically Savannah Claw, if you want to be House Warden, you gotta fight for it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I didn't write it down, but they said for Scarabia, House Warden is just the person that embodies the traits of Scarabia the most.
Which makes sense for that.
It's what it should
house.
be.
For that
It's
house.
what it should be for all of them. It's what it should be for all of them.
But
I mean, yeah, but like they never mention
it. Isn't.
I mean,
but it should be.
was chosen by the previous House Warden. But, like, they never technically say, like, oh, he had to, like, it's implied that Jamil would be fighting him for House Warden thing, but I mean, for all we know, like, Scarabia is like a vote.
Isn't that
like, instead of them getting in a fist fight, it would just be like, who wants Camilla's House Warden? Raise your hand.
I thought it's discussed. Sorry, this is going forward, but I thought it's discussed in Jamil's backstory that Clem was not only nominated, but pretty much gifted the role because of his parents' money involvement. And
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't really apply for how Kalim got it, but like they never say like if Jamil were to fight him for the role, like whether or not it would have to be like an actual duel, or if they'd just be like, raise your hand if you want Jamil to be House Warden now.
That's how it works, though. They do say in book 1, if you want to challenge the House Warden, it's a magic duel.
Yeah.
I thought that was specific for Hearts of Yule.
No, that's the whole school.
I think it kind of references that there has to be a teacher there and that they would prefer it's Crowley.
It has to be Crowley. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you have to go to Crowley and be like, hey, I want to start a fight. And Crowley, first of all, is going to say no to this interaction because he's the one that kicked Jamil out of the running for the House Warning spot for Kalim.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, Pomfure doesn't say it's a duel. That one just says whoever makes the most poisonous poison.
But if you want to challenge the House Warden and take over the spot instead of inheriting it from the previous one, once that previous head House Warden graduates, that's when they do the potion thing.
Yeah.
If you want to challenge the House Warden in the middle of the school year, then it is a magic duel. Savannah Claw, yes, it's a physical fight. Heartstable, we don't know. Scarabia, it's a vote or nominations. Octavanel, we don't know. Pomfure, it's the potion thing. The other two, we don't know. But if you want to challenge somebody in the middle of the school year, like how Riddle did, like how the students are wanting Jamil to do, or the other Scarabia students are wanting Jamil to do, it's a magic duel.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the thing, I'm not gonna lie, but for the last two, it's obviously, well, for Malice, no one's
I mean,
going against that.
Yes, for everybody that we don't know, it's nepotism. For everyone that we don't know, it's nepotism. But
no, there's
in this
literally
specific
no
scenario.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, besides nepotism, I think Idia would go out of his way so he could get his own room, just like Leona did. And Malleus, there's no way he wouldn't have become House Warden.
Yeah.
Like, immediately, people don't even, like, look at him because they're scared of him. Like, they walk the other way. There's no way he's not going to become House Warden like that.
I mean, yes. But, again, we don't know the specific processes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, let me see if we do know. Not that we can talk about them now. We'll talk about them later. But, while I do that, to get discussion going, the next one is well, we can kind of skip over those because it's what we've been talking about. The next important one is Kalim makes them do magic training until they pass out.
Yeah.
Because he walked in on their conversation.
Mhm.
Of course he did. I don't think Jamil actually gave him sleepy time tea. He was like,
Yeah,
okay,
no,
I want you to
obviously
sit
not.
here and then count to 10 and then I want you to come out into the living room. I have a surprise for you. Or the common room. That's probably what he said.
I feel like it was more like count to 100, you know?
Yeah. He's probably like, give me 2 minutes and then you can come out, okay, bud?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I looked it up. We do have how Edia became house warden. I don't know when it gets talked about, but it is basically like everybody. I think it's a vote for Ignihide because
They're not
everyone
fighting.
else wanted him to be house warden, and he didn't want to be. But they were like, "But you're house warden now," so he
Such a
just
mood,
had to
though.
deal with it.
Doesn't Styx basically fund the entire Ignihide?
They don't say anything about it.
Well,
They do this. I'm going off the fandom wiki. There's nothing about it in there. They do say he received special permission from the head mage to attend classes remotely in exchange for safeguarding the school's network environment. So
ooh,
they did stuff with like the school's
The
website and
firewall.
Wi-Fi and everything.
Yeah.
The firewall. And also obviously he got some sort of permissions for Ortho to attend.
Yeah. Well, his parents did that.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I thought, okay, so Styx basically owns all of the like computers and all that stuff. So I feel like
They don't own it. They did some like development on it to help,
well, not
like you said, with the firewall.
no, not that. Like they made all of that.
Like they donated it?
No. Like they're the creators of the computer, is what I.
No.
Are they?
Styx is a research facility.
I thought they were the, because I know Edia creates the VR headset. He's the one who creates that, and I just
Styx is a
assumed.
research. Styx is a blot research facility. You haven't played Book 6, that's right. Basically, the whole point of Styx is that they're doing like secret research on blot and people who have overblotted and their phantoms. They work with a lot of high-tech stuff, and obviously they have skilled enough engineers that they can do this with the school's firewall, but they don't produce anything other than their research.
How are they a secret organization but don't have a cover up?
They are a branch of the
government?
Olympus company. No,
No.
there's like I don't remember what it's called, but there is a tech company attached to it that is basically this universe's version of Olympus. And so that company probably is where a lot of their tech comes from. And like I said, Styx is a branch off of that, but like nobody knows what Styx actually is until we go there in book 6.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I thought they like I don't know. Whatever. Let's move on.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say we're
We
off
could
topic.
both be confused. We could both be wrong. But anyway, Grim gets the hole to reach the other side of the wall, which is big enough for our head, and somehow we make it out. And we immediately get
I don't
caught
know
because
how that
Grim's
works.
stomach growled.
I still don't know how they got out. He literally was just like, I got it big enough for our heads. Once you get it big enough for your head, then the rest of your body will go through. And we comment, we're like, you mean your shoulders? And he's like, no. They're like, okay, I guess we're doing this. And somehow we get out. And the comments are, I don't remember what the comments were or something. But they're like, I feel like I've been squeezed through this or something. I didn't write them down.
They got
But
birthed.
I'm just like, how? How did you get out of here? If it was like head and shoulders, two different things.
They got birthed like a baby.
Desperation can make you do some insane things.
Yeah.
But again, it doesn't matter how we got out because we get immediately caught and put back in the room.
Womp womp. Did they
No,
not
we don't get
ask how we got
don't get
out?
put back in the room.
We don't get put back in the room?
No, read the rest of the bullet points.
Oh.
What?
It's a big scene now.
Oh, we're running away.
Oh.
Right. We're running away. And we hide in the treasury. We find the carpet. And we run away.
Yes. Right. Yep. Sorry, Yep.
Yeah.
We run away and hide in the treasury. The magic carpet helps us escape, and we crash through the mirror into Octagonal.
As we should.
Yeah.
I
The Scravia students chase us there. Oh.
Because apparently they're allowed to leave the dorm now.
Because they're like, go bring
Well,
him
they're
back.
chasing us. Yeah. Jade and Floyd kick them out. Them, I assume, meaning the Scravia students, after they threaten Azul.
Yeah, there's a lot I didn't write down there, but apparently they were just like, you need to hand them over, like, they're like enemies of Scarabia or something. And Azul's just like standing there calmly like, you're in Monster Lounge, you will follow these rules, you will act politely, and they're like, just give them the students back, and he's just like, fight them. He's like, just take care of them.
Yeah.
And then there's a fight, and they break tables, and Azul charges us for them.
Of course he fucking does. Hello.
Okay,
Yeah.
we might have broken the tables when we crashed in. That's a little unclear. But something else got broken, and he's like, we'll have to charge you for the broken tables and the damage done in the fight, and our time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just being
And we're
petty.
like, dude, what the heck?
Uh-huh.
I know.
The same way Leona was petty and the same way Riddle was petty. They're just all petty.
Everybody in this goddamn game is petty.
I can be way more petty than them.
No, Ortho's petty.
But anyway, so at this point we explain to them what's been going on, and Azul responds by calling Jamil Demir.
There was another word, but that was the only one I paid attention to, just because it's going around on TikTok and Instagram.
I don't even know what Demir
Yep.
means. Fucking hate it. Let me Google it. I
It
hate
means,
the
like,
word.
Old-fashioned.
soft
Isn't it
and
like poised?
feminine and yeah.
Sober and serious, a
How-
modest look. I kind of don't like that. I don't like the word. I don't like it. It touches my brain in a gross way. If that makes
Right,
sense.
like the sound of it.
Yeah.
That's fair. I have words like that.
You know, like for most people it's like moist. No, it's Demir for me.
I was just thinking that.
You're welcome.
The audiobook I'm reading, the read along I'm listening to for Scum Villain, the person who's reading it hates the word scum, so she doesn't refer to it as the Scum Villain self-saving system. She just says villain self-saving system.
Boy.
Such a mood, though.
Okay.
Just being like, I hate this word that's in the title, so we're just not gonna say it.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, Azul saying he should come to Scarabia's aid, and Grim asking if he hit his head. And then the Octa Trio
Yep.
going to Scarabia the next day and turning us in.
Wow, thanks, besties.
Yeah, they're like, what the? Jamil's like, why on earth are you here? And he's like, I'm just returning these people that escaped from you, and we're returning the magic carpet. Is Clum here? I want to return it to him specifically. And Jamil's like, absolutely not. I'm not letting you near him. Give me the carpet. And he's like, I don't want Octagonal liable if something were to get damaged between this interaction. So we can give it to Kalim himself. And he keeps fighting. He's like, no, just give me it. Go. Leave us.
Yeah. That's so funny. Oh, ew. They brought seafood pizza.
Oh,
I just
yay.
need to know what's on that.
What's
I
on
need to know.
seafood pizza?
Anchovies.
Like,
Ugh.
That's a fucking thing, and it's gross, and I hate thinking about it.
You know what I would have
I don't
done?
think I've tried that.
Because I'm more petty than these bitches, I would have been like, that your cousin? Are you eating your cousin?
I want to know if there's still marinara sauce on it. Like, is it a pizza in the sense of marinara sauce and toppings? Or is it like, oh, we have, like an Alfredo sauce or something, but it's still pizza shaped? And I feel like if you did like Alfredo sauce and like shrimp or something, that wouldn't be too bad. It's just like pasta then, just with pizza crust.
I don't like that image. It really bothers. I've had Alfredo pizza before. It's yummy though. Not shrimp. I hate shrimp.
Yeah, like they're like, well, that's fair then. I'm just thinking like that would make it acceptable, like Alfredo sauce. I feel like then that could be good. But marinara sauce, I don't think that would be good at all, no matter what seafood you're putting on there.
I am very curious if there is a difference between that and the original translation, if they brought something different
Probably not.
in the Japanese.
Well, I know they changed the popular grilled cheese in book 2 was more like
It was
I always thought
yakisoba.
it was more like
Yakisoba.
I
think it was yakisoba.
No, it wasn't. Yakisoba is a noodle dish.
in book 2.
It's still a sandwich.
Yeah,
Well, there is a sandwich version of yakisoba. I've seen it in several anime or heard it talked about in several
Interesting.
anime.
I have never.
maybe yakisoba is just the sauce.
Anyway, let's
I
continue.
don't
Sorry about all the off rants, whatever. I mean, it's normal, but it's worse today.
Yeah.
know.
Anyway.
That's what like the entire first half of our recording was.
So Azul convinces Kalim to let them join in on the training. Jamil is against it, and he guilts them.
Of course, fucking.
Yes. Wait,
Of course they do.
I'm trying
Octo
to find
Trio.
the guilts them.
Master
Yeah, the Octo
manipulators.
Trio guilts them into it.
Yeah. And then Jade and Floyd offer to help with cooking and cleaning. Azul telling Jade to talk, in quotations, with Kalim.
That is how he says it.
Yes. And then, for some reason, we get a scene of Jamil teaching us Mancala.
Because that's how they're distracting him.
And that.
So
Yeah.
It's like they put Kalim to bed, and then they're like, okay, we'll go distract Jamil. So it's like us, Floyd, Azul, and Grimm are like, oh, Jamil, we found this game in the treasury. Can you teach? Like, Kalim tried explaining it to us earlier, but we still have no clue how to play. Like, can you teach us this?
Yeah.
So he's like,
No.
oh yeah, sure, whatever. So he plays
I
Mancala
remember
with
the
us.
scene, and I get why it's there. I'm just like, does it really need to go on that long? Although that is coming from someone who knows how to play Mancala and really likes playing Mancala. So
I like know how, but don't at the same time. Like I know how, but I probably couldn't actually play if you set a board in front of me.
we're playing Mancala next time I'm hanging out with you in person. I love Mancala.
They use Mancala, or Azul's using it to like figure out what's wrong with Jamil because he knows something's up, and he uses it. Sorry, I have to mess with my mic. That was loud.
You're good.
But he's using it because he finds out that Jamil is purposely losing
He's purposely making this thing average.
Yeah. Like average, or I think they play 10 rounds and he only wins 4 because he's always been taught that.
I don't remember how many times they play. It was something where they said specifically later towards the end, they say specifically with Floyd, he kept a consistent like 3-2 thing, so he wouldn't send Floyd into a rage. And Floyd's just like, oh, that's what he was doing?
No, he was talking about like how he was taught that he needed to be one step behind Klim at all times, and he can never be equal or better. So he always just learned to
be exactly average.
Yeah, be exactly average.
I remember that. They're like he
There's
purposefully
points about
keeps
that later
his.
on.
But I remember them talking about like he very purposefully keeps his grades so that he is exactly in the middle
Yeah.
Of
because Azul and
whatever.
Jade point that out too, that like to be that average you have to be strategic about it, because he's like there's no fluctuation between it. It's like with Azul, you know, he's like the best at like alchemy or something, but he's dead last in flying. Like it balances out, whereas Jamil's just
Average.
5s across the board.
You know what?
But we are getting way ahead of ourselves there for people who haven't played this.
Yeah.
This is
Which, if you haven't, why are you listening to us? Go play the game.
maybe they want to listen to us before they play the game, but
We keep skipping to after the overblock.
yeah. So no, because we're talking. You asked why he was playing Mancala, like teaching us Mancala, and
I know.
and I thought that was
Yeah.
part of it. So I tried to read ahead, but then I stopped. So
I mean, yeah, that is
Well,
part of it. I don't think that was specifically why
no, I thought
they
they.
chose that, but he's just like, oh, I noticed this.
I thought.
Yeah.
while
I mean-
playing.
Again, I get why the scene happened. I'm just like, did they need to go into the exact instructions on how to play Mancala
They didn't.
so specifically?
They didn't.
Did they?
They don't explain how to play the game.
Oh.
No, because I skimmed it, and they're just like, oh, they like, Kaleem explained it to me. Can you do it? Can you teach us? And he's like, yeah, sure. And then they cut back to Jade and Kaleem, and then when they cut back to everyone else, they're saying how like Floyd's won like 3 games now, and you know, like someone's like lost like 5 games in a row. I think it was like Grim against Azul or something.
Well,
Like they don't actually explain like you pick up your marbles and then you move them this many things. Like the only thing they say describing the game was like, oh, we found this board with like divots and marbles. Can you teach us how to play?
What the fuck? Okay, sorry, ignore me then. I genuinely remember that scene going on for a while and me getting really bored of it.
I mean, maybe it seems like a while if you're actually like clicking the screen and watching everything, but I just
Yeah.
pulled up their dialogue, and I mean, maybe they did explain the full game, and the people who just like copied the dialogue just went, this isn't necessary.
I mean, probably not, if it wasn't on the wiki.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Because I just read the wiki,
Yeah.
transcriptions.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, never mind me. Feel free to yell at me in the comments. For some reason, I thought that scene went on for very long. Anyway. So, yes, then we have the cutaway with Jade and Kaleem, where Kaleem is saying he's been spacing out a lot recently and doesn't fully remember, and Jade pretends to have something in his eye so he can use his signature spell on Kaleem, although at this point we don't know it's his signature spell. Right? We find that out later.
I mean, we find it out in like 2 chapters later.
I mean, yeah.
I kind of left the stuff about like them explaining the signature spells out because like we already know what they are.
Yeah.
I think it's like directly after this, because then they're like, wait, what's his signature spell? And they're like, oh, you know, it doesn't really matter if the people who can't do magic know what the spell is, might as well tell them. And then he explains it.
Although the thing is, though, like, there's a detail that once they know about his spell, he can't use it on them anymore. So why would he tell anyone?
No, it's not once he tells them, it's once he uses it on them. But he said sometimes it doesn't work if the person is like has their mind very guarded or if they're very suspicious. So like, yeah, they obviously, now that he told us and Grim, like, we're probably not going to be voluntarily looking into his eyes anytime soon. But like, because he said like, oh, it wouldn't work on like Azul because he's too like suspicious of everyone and stuff like that. But Kaleem doesn't have his mind guarded at all, so it's really easy for me to just be like, tell me your secrets.
Yeah. Fair. Damn, I really didn't remember this book as well as I thought I did.
So like he said it probably wouldn't work on Jamil, so that's why they did it on Kaleem.
But like, I swear, I'm looking this up again. I swear there was a detail of like once people know his spell, he can't use it on them anymore.
I don't think so. I think it was just the, like, once he uses it on them, he can never use it again. So, like, he'll never be able to use, what is it, Shock the Heart? He'll never be able to use that again on Kaleem because he already used it. It's a one and done.
Oh, yeah.
There's silence there.
You're right. Oh my god.
It would be sad if I wasn't right because I read this, like,
Yeah.
at the beginning of the day. Not to be rude, but, like...
Yeah. What the fuck? Okay. Moving on.
It's fair. I get things wrong all the time.
Azul is saying how he's just waiting for the Tweels to turn on him. No. They talk about Jamil and the Octatrio's past, Azul yelling at Grimm for bringing up the forbidden lore. Wait, does he actually
Which is
call
just
it
how he looked as a child. Yes, that is a quote. That's why I put it in there. Because they were talking about their past, because Jamil's like, oh, were you guys, like, childhood friends? And they're like, we met in, like, elementary school, but we didn't really know Azul existed until, like, middle school. And Grimm makes some comment, and he's like, how could you not know Azul existed when he looks so, and he's like, no, bringing up the forbidden lore. I think he says, I told you not, in all caps, to dredge up the forbidden lore.
Beautiful.
It was so beautiful, that's why I put it in there.
Yes. And then we have Azul is just saying how he's waiting for the Tweels to turn on him, which makes my Octo Trio shipper heart sad.
I know,
but he's so right.
Like, all of them are literally just like, once we get bored of him, we'll just drop him like a bad habit, which honestly, how easy. Do they not realize it's hard to drop bad habits? Like,
yeah.
But, like, Azul's literally just like, oh, I'm sure they'll kill me one day if they get bored of me or something. It's like, dude, what the hell? Mm-hmm. That's not normal. But yeah, I ship them too, but like...
yeah.
It's a little toxic.
Mm-hmm. And then, speaking of toxic, we have Jamil flipping out when he sees Jade with Kaleem. And then, oh no, Kaleem is being mind-controlled again. And he refuses to tell Jade who's doing it, even under the spell.
Well, he's not being mind-controlled in that moment. That's just when they officially are like, this is what's happening.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because Jamil flips, he brings Kaleem back to his room, and they're just like, well, that confirms it. He's being mind-controlled. And of course, us and Grimm are just like, oh, what? That's a possibility? Because we're idiots.
Mm-hmm. Even though actual us figured it out in-game days ago.
I know. I mean, to be fair, I figured it out because I had already read fanfics that spoiled it for me. But, like, I probably could have figured that out pretty quickly.
I feel like... I had been spoiled for the fact that Jamil was the one who overblotted. But that was, I think, the only thing. But I think I did figure it out, like, almost immediately as soon as I saw them. Like, in that little end bit of book 3, I saw Kaleem's eyes, and I was like, oh, something's up.
That's suspicious.
That's weird. That's suspicious.
That's suspicious.
Yeah. Alright. We wake up early so we can help Kaleem get ready in the morning.
Which makes Jamil flip out.
Yeah.
Okay, which one of the things is, like, I get, like, you know, he's royal, he has servants and stuff, but, like, so, like, I get why it's not weird for Kaleem, but Azul just, like, coming in the morning with, like, Jade and just being like, oh, we're gonna help you get dressed today, like... Because, like, that's a quote. They say they're going to help him get dressed. I'm like, that... I don't think I'd ever just go up to my friends and be like, I'm going to help dress you today. Like...
Well, they're trying to get in his good graces to, like, suss out what the fuck is going on.
Like, I do get that. Like, you know, Kalim's used to having servants and used to people dressing him. But that's one of the things where I'm like, I'd be like, I will hand you clothes, and if you're struggling, I'll help you put them on, but you can figure this out.
Yeah. And then the next note is Jamil support squad. And then
That's what they call themselves, because they're letting him get a break.
Right. And then we have Floyd making breakfast.
I think he made soup.
For breakfast?
I think so. I mean, yeah, it's a little questionable too, but like,
Okay.
I think that's what he made.
Okay.
And you have Jamil flipping out like, I need to make everything to make sure it's not poison, and he's just like, you can try it yourself.
Alright. Sorry, I'm counting stitches. Okay. So yes, Floyd made breakfast, but also marching before breakfast.
They didn't march. That's when we learned that's when they marched, but that was one of his like problems. He's like, well, you made breakfast, but normally we don't eat until after the march. So like, now all the food's just gonna sit here or something. Like, he was trying to find ways to be like, well, yeah, you were doing a nice thing, but like, really, you're just throwing everything off, so you shouldn't have done it. Because they're foiling his plans.
Yep. Azul swaps out the march for weight training.
You're gonna get them buff.
If that's the other option, I'll take the marching.
I know, right? He's just like, oh, cardio's nice, but like, you need to balance it out. Add some weight training in there. But I mean, granted, 6 miles, like 3 times a day, definitely not. But like,
no, I physically
I'd probably take that than 2 hours of weight training.
I physically cannot do weight training because of my fucked up wrists.
Ooh, that sucks.
So I have to take the marching. And yes, I have fucked up wrists, and yet here I am knitting. Anyway.
Way to go. Anyway.
Memorize stuff while walking if you have a short attention span.
I need to try that. Where was this when I was in Awana and had to memorize Bible verses every week?
What? I didn't hear that.
Huh?
You spoke too fast. I couldn't catch it.
Oh, I said, where was this when I was in Awana and I had to memorize Bible verses every week?
Alright. And then the next note is Kalim saying he wants to start cooking, but Jamil telling him he'll get hurt. Which is bullshit.
Again, he's not letting him even try things.
Yeah. But like, also,
he's just like, oh, I want to learn how to cook. And he's just like, you'll hurt yourself. So they're like, you can go stir the pot and make soup. And then they have the whole twist tune where they make soup. And he's just like, wow, this was easy enough that even I can make it. And Jamil's just like, you just stirred the pot. Like, dude.
But like, honestly,
let him have his little accomplishment after you told him no.
Yeah. Like, also just like, yes, it's possible to hurt yourself while you're cooking, but really only if you're doing something very, very wrong. Like, if you have dull blades, or if you don't use a heat pot holder, like, those are genuinely the only times I can think of where it is highly likely.
Like, I get there have been lots of times where there's been accidents where, you know, like one time when I was little, I was opening a can of like Chef Boyardee ravioli and I somehow like cut myself on the lid. Looking back to that, I don't know how I did that. My friend once took ramen out of the microwave and the water splashed onto their hand and they got like 3rd-degree burns. And then both my siblings have the like mandolin, the thing where you like
Mhm.
you put the vegetable on top and then you both of them have like sliced off parts of their fingers on that thing, so I will never touch one of those. But like,
Well, like
in soup, you either cut yourself dicing or you like splash yourself in the water. It's not that big a risk.
Yeah, like genuinely, the one time I know that I've injured myself while cooking, it wasn't even while I was cooking. It was afterward. After we were done, while we were waiting for stuff, because it was in a cooking class, we were waiting for like our food to cool down so that we could, try it and then, write a report on it. Like I was dumb and put my hand down too close to the pan and it my hand like twitched and bumped the edge of the pan. And that was the worst injury that I've ever gotten while I was cooking. And it is a tiny burn that healed in 3 days. Like,
Oof.
Yeah. Anyway. Jamil trying to kick Azul and the Tweels out of the dorm because we're undoing his plans.
He says this in a hallway alone with Azul.
Mm-hmm. And then he tries to brainwash Azul.
Mm-hmm.
And then he tries to make the students reject Kalim so he won't be held responsible.
That was his master plan.
Mm-hmm. Somehow Azul remembers all of the contents of his deals.
That was the thing. So he has him under mind control. And he's like, you destroyed all of your contracts, didn't you? Like, dang, you could have been like my own little genie of the lamp, but like you destroyed all that. And he's just like, I still remember them all. I still remember like all the collateral, the deals, their weaknesses, all of that. And he's just like, oh, do you have anything on Crowley? He's like, I do. He did make a deal with me. And then their plans are foiled before he can tell them. He's just like, tell me everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Specifically, they are foiled.
And I think Jade comes out.
Yeah. They are foiled.
He's just like, oh, thank you for that lovely confession.
Yeah. Specifically, they are foiled because we find out that Azul was live streaming this whole conversation to 5,000 viewers, which, how?
Mm-hmm. They said he had 5,000 viewers on Magicam.
Mm-hmm.
They had like 5,000 followers. So, plus also one of the things, I've heard mixed things on this. So they're telling Azul that he's live streaming this to the world, including all of the Scarabia students sitting in the common room and watching this. But then I don't remember if this is in canon or if this was from the fic or something, but I remember hearing that they lied about it being live streamed to the world and it was just to the students. Like it was on a video call instead of a live stream.
Let me see.
Random background noise while we look things up.
I don't.
I feel so bad for anyone listening to this.
I don't think I remember anything about that.
That might have been from the fic then.
Maybe.
But I guess I'll call everyone dude and bro.
Which?
Because I feel like that was what they said was their reasoning for like how it was like contained. So like, when all the students get back from winter break, they're not just immediately like, oh my gosh, Jamil tried to kill him. Like kind of like how Jamil was able to stay a student there because it wasn't actually live streamed to the world. It was just to the dorm.
It's in.
I mean, it makes sense.
It's in book 5. At the beginning of book 5.
Okay.
It's in book 5.
Okay.
But it's just a video call.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so the next one is Floyd signed over his signature spell to have a really deep voice.
That made me laugh so much the first time that I read it. Again, there wasn't like, I don't think it, did it have sound for the deep
Yeah.
voice? I don't know.
I don't remember.
But either way.
I played this book
Either
mostly
way.
on mute, I think. I play on
Fair.
mute most of the time. And then we have Sad Kalim.
He's very sad.
Yeah.
He been betrayed.
Mm-hmm. And then we have Jamil's evil laughter. And he's mind controlling the whole dorm.
As you do.
As you do. As Jamil do. And then Kalim said he'll let Jamil be the house warden and he'll leave the school if he stops. But Jamil said that's not enough. And then, boom, overblot.
As you do.
As you do.
Yeah.
And then the next line is Jamil singing / quoting Jafar's Prince Ali.
I don't think he's actually singing, but that's how I interpret the automatic lyrics. It's like, you've given me adequate cause to send you packing on a one-way trip where your prospects take a terminal dip, and then yeets us.
And he yeets us, Kalim, and the Octa Trio into the desert.
As you do.
As you.
As you do. And then Azul says he's going to tear up the contracts because he can't stand Floyd's deep voice.
He's literally just like, no, I like having this voice. And it's gone. He ripped it up.
Wait a minute. Hang on. I think I remember something.
What?
I feel like I remember... I feel like I remember seeing somewhere. Yes, there is audio for the deep voice for Floyd because he has a whole fucking different voice actor for that one scene.
Are we able to play that, or would that get us like copyright?
I don't know if I could
Let's not.
reliably find it. But yeah,
Okay.
Floyd is normally
Just to be safe, go look it up yourself.
Yeah. Floyd is normally voiced by Nobuhiko Okamoto, who, in case you don't know, is the same voice actor as Nishinoya from Haikyuu and Bakugo from Boku no Hero Academia, as well as a couple others I know because he's on my list, but I don't remember what they are off the top of my head. I think he's also in Blue Lock. But his deep voice is played by Hayato Fuji, but I don't know who else he plays, so...
Nice.
Yes. Anyway, sorry. But okay. So after we get rid of Floyd's deep voice, Kalim is blaming himself for everything.
And they're just like, no. They're like, you're too nice. If someone did this to me, Jade's just like, I would verbally abuse and tear them down and then drag them under the sea.
Mm-hmm.
He's just making all the threats there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, but I hurt them. And they're like, stop being nice.
Yeah. All right. And then they tell Kalim that he is too nice because he is.
Mm-hmm. He is.
It's unfortunate, but he is. And then Kalim responds by saying that he's going to punch Jamil in the face.
Which he never does.
Sure.
I don't
No,
think
he
does.
doesn't.
I don't think so. Yeah.
I was really happy when you said that.
I feel like I remember Kaden going on. I feel like I remember Kaden going on a like full rant about how Kalim didn't punch him in the
I
face.
did. Because it pissed me off. He needed to punch him in the face, and he didn't.
That was fair.
Maybe not the face, but at least a punch, you know? Punch him in the chest. Or the arm. Something.
Yeah. And then Kalim uses his signature spell to make a river so that we can get back to the dorm. And Azul and Grim ride on Jade's back, and you and Kalim on Floyd's, which I know we're not the first person to talk about this, but now that we have their full on, we know what they look like from the back in their mer forms. How?
I don't think I've seen them from the
They
back.
have
I don't know
fins, huge fins going down their back. Like eels.
I assume that's what we're holding on to, and then we're like on their side.
I think if we held on to them, they'd rip.
Yeah, because they're just fins.
Maybe we're just holding on to their arms or something.
But then how would they swim?
I don't know. They just dolphin swim. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Let me look at these pictures again.
It's Floyd's card that has his back visible.
Okay, well, first of all, this isn't helpful because freaking it doesn't have the stupid Japanese release.
Here. It's blurred, so you have to like actually open it, but
Of course it is. Be a spoiler. Okay. I don't think those are actually used for like swimming. I think that there's a clear break on his backbone.
Just a core.
Right between.
Yes.
You could easily sit there.
Yes, but two people.
But there's two of
There's
us.
also clear break right on his neck area. You have you sitting on his back and Grim sitting on his neck area.
But one has somebody in Grim. The other has
It's you and
two
Colleen.
human bodies. I'm not going to say two human beings because one is a soul, but two human bodies.
Okay, well, I think we could put Clem in the same spot as you is, and then we have Azul hanging onto him like a gorilla from the underside because he can breathe underwater.
Fair. Sure.
Like a gorilla on the underside.
Let's go with that, I guess.
Or if worse comes to worse, I assume octopus have great grip strength, so...
Sure.
True. He could do that. Well, I guess it depends how shallow the river is then. Like, is he just getting dragged across the bottom of this, or is there plenty space?
Well, seeing as it was bone dry before Clem did anything about it, probably pretty shallow.
That's what I was thinking.
I don't know. It will probably remain a mystery until we get the anime. Or maybe it'll be illustrated in the manga or something.
Who knows?
He's got...
and then we have...
Sorry, he's got weird, like, Sukuna tattoos on his arms. I just noticed that. Okay.
Tattoos? Now I gotta look at it again.
Floyd does too.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, well,
I
obviously.
think those might just be...
It's just their stripes. Yeah.
They're curvy. If you slide to the very last picture in that, it shows from the
I
front.
can see the curves.
I'm
still calling them Sukuna tattoos.
I don't know what that means, but sure.
Okay, and then we have the best quote from this book. Jamil, he's our man. He can't do it. Great.
I know. They didn't say the last part. That's just all I can hear.
Yeah.
Just Robin Williams. If he can't do it, great.
And then Kalim calling Jamil a coward and a traitor, which he is. I have nothing to add to that. He is. Then
there was no punch to the face, but he said it.
Yeah. I mean, it was practically the same emotionally. But then we get
for Columbia
backstory.
So
Jamil got in trouble with his parents if he didn't do what Kalim wanted, or if he didn't do what Kalim wanted, or if he didn't let Kalim win. And he hated Kalim for not realizing he was holding himself back the whole time.
How else is he supposed to realize? That's why I hate him. He's like expecting common sense.
That's like, yeah.
There's one thing you should know about people. It's that you should never expect common sense. Like this girl at my work. She wears her apron and headset into the bathroom to go to the bathroom because that's not common sense to her.
But also, like, it took Azul playing that whole dozens of games of Mancala with Jamil to truly nail it down. Like, yes, Kaleem is the person who's with him all day, every day, but, like, if he is as good of an actor as they're trying to convince us he is, how would he have noticed?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And Kaleem's an airhead to begin with.
Yeah.
So. Like,
yeah.
Like, Kaleem is the person where he, like, just expects people to tell him stuff directly and doesn't realize that everyone's just like, oh, keep him happy, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't understand why people would just not tell him the truth.
Mm-hmm. Because he doesn't know any different. This is the point where we find out that Kaleem is the house warden because his family paid for it.
Yeah.
Nepotism.
Yep. And Kaleem is sobbing because he never knew how much Jamil was suffering.
Boo-hoo. Let him suffer. What else is he going to do? Find a new job? He can't, actually. He's going to suffer no matter what you do. Get over it.
And he says he wants him and Jamil to be equals and friends. But Jamil just snaps at him in return.
He just says, like, a bunch of insults, and he's just like, I would never want to be your friend, and we'll never be equals. And it's like, okay, you are perfectly allowed to say you don't want to be his friend. But he's saying he wants to be equals, and he doesn't want you to act like a servant, and you're just like, no, that's not how this works. And then complaining that you're a servant.
Yeah.
He's not wrong. That's not how it works.
There's just so many things where it's like, I definitely got more annoyed with Jamil rereading this because it's like, Kaleem is trying. Like, he's saying, like, oh, he can go get his own things. He wants to learn how to cook. And Jamil's just like, no, you can't do those things.
Mm-hmm.
It's also kind of because he was so brainwashed by his parents to be like, oh, these people are, for lack of better words, they're gods. They cannot do anything by themselves. You have to do it for them because they're too busy doing other stuff. And they don't, they're not made for doing this stuff because they're doing other stuff.
Like, I do fully understand, like, that's how he was raised. This is how, you know, it was very enforced into him. Like, in the flashback, it does say that, like, it was like his mom said, like, it was Kaleem said, he's like, oh, Jamil, let's go play this game. And he's just like, why do we have to play that game? I'm just going to beat you again. Why don't we play something else? And his mom hits him and says, you can't say that to him. You have to go play the game. So, like, I do understand that it's, like, very enforced into him. Like, that's how he was raised, the trauma there. I understand all that. But at the same time, like, Kaleem is trying. And he's just completely brushing it off.
Yeah. I don't really have anything to add. This is the point where we find out about the whole, Jamil makes himself intentionally very average because we find out that Jamil let Floyd win at Mancala. Yeah. And then this is where the Azujami shippers get all of their fuel, just literally the entirety of their fuel. Azul asks if Jamil wants to transfer to Octagonal, and Jamil says, not on your life, in a scene that feels very reminiscent of Ushijima and Oikawa from Haikyuu to me.
No.
Huh?
No.
So, I mean, like, come on. You cannot convince me that like you should have gone to Shiro Torizawa and you should transfer to Octave and L don't have the same energy.
Sorry, Cookie's being a beau.
No, you're good. And then Grim eats another Blotstone.
Yummy, yummy. Plot.
Yeah.
He said this one was spicy.
Mm.
Ooh.
Kalim wants to throw a party once they get all their homework done. And so we go to the Oasis to throw the party, and it is at this point that Ace and Deuce appear.
Of course they fucking do.
We did text them.
Yeah, we did text them way back at the beginning, but like, come on.
How'd they know we were at
They
the
didn't
Oasis?
even
After we couldn't get
I
through to
don't know.
Crowley.
Probably followed the footprints, because I mean, if it's sand.
Probably followed the giant elephants and camels. But when we couldn't get a hold of Crowley, we messaged them on Magicam, like, SOS, we're stuck at Scarabia.
Yeah, and then
Because they're the only people whose contact we have.
and then they never responded to us. So we didn't think they were coming. And then by the time they got here, it was all over.
I don't think it was that they didn't respond to us. I think it was that, like, we just never saw the text, because I feel like they messaged, it was like, we tried to, like, we texted you back a bunch of times, but you never responded, so we came as soon as we could, like, something happened that either we didn't respond, we didn't get their texts. Either way, they never got a response from us, so they're panicking.
Yeah. They came running home once they saw running back to school once they saw our text saying we were trapped in Scarabia. The ghosts were worried about us, and they took care of tending to the fires while we were trapped in Scarabia for 4 days. Very kind of the ramshackle
sweet.
ghosts.
I mean, the ghosts say they're like, we just assume you just got sent magically back home, so we did it for you, but glad you're here.
Yeah. And then Lilia gives us a mysterious holiday card that is monogrammed MD.
It's a post. I think it was from the one person we see all the posts from. I can never remember how to say their name. Where it was like them walking with Mally, and they were holding the card, and they're like, MD, and he's like, oh,
yes,
I guess you figured it
egophiliac.
out, huh? And they're just
Yeah.
like, I didn't. It's like, I didn't know you were a doctor.
Oh yeah, and then this is the do you ever know someone so stupid? Whatever the line is.
Yeah.
And Lilia goes, yes. And I shouldn't say who. And Malleus goes, you mean Sebek, right? Yes, him too.
Sure.
We haven't talked about them in a while.
In the cat video,
They're also
In the
They're
cat
my
video,
favorites,
Yeah.
like,
it says
in the cat
"Happy
video.
Holiday, BBG." Heart from your Fae Prince boyfriend,
beautiful.
and then it's got a picture of like a
that's canon
like
now.
a
That's what's
cat
on the card.
mogging. It's so cute. Let me take a screenshot.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I need to watch that just for that.
Okay. Then we have an actual conversation with Mickey for the first time.
Ugh,
Ugh.
I don't like it.
Mhm.
He's just standing there like, I thought this was a dream. All my friends thought I was insane, but maybe you're from another world. And then it's just you just being like, this is Twisted Wonderland. And then it end chapter.
Yay.
I don't like Mickey Mouse in
Yeah.
this. I like Mickey Mouse. He just ticks me off in
Yeah.
this for some reason.
But then we're hanging out with the freshman gang, and this is like literally between now and I think book 6. This is like the only time that we hang out with Jack, which makes me sad. But we find out that
Sad.
not book 6, book 7 even, and actually, we find out that Jack spent his holiday break skiing.
He would.
Which, one of the things is Ace is like, did you get a tan? And he's like, oh, maybe I spent the holiday skiing.
How?
And how? You're going to be bundled up. The only place you're getting a tan is going to be everywhere on your face that the goggles weren't touching. I've seen them. They look ridiculous. That would be a very obvious tan. Not like, is he just... honestly, I feel like I wouldn't put it past Jack to like go skiing in a tank top.
I was just about to say
though.
that he skis almost shirtless all the time. That's Jack. You can't convince me otherwise.
But would he still wear the
He would.
goggles?
He would wear the goggles. Because
So
otherwise
he'd have
he's going to
those
get
trans
his
legs.
eyes burned off, you know?
I mean, he is a white wolf, which is like the Arctic wolf that,
Yeah.
thrives in cold weather,
So
typically.
that's why I see him skiing down that mountain with no clothes on, only goggles. Oh, that's another great fanfic I can write. Let me write that down.
Oh, God.
You're welcome. Wonder.
Jack.
All right. And then we have Deuce accidentally runs into Ethel, and Ethel is crying. And then the next note is Phil tells Rook to capture him and bring him here, presumably him presumably being Ethel.
Yeah,
Because they also make some comment about him
probably
getting away.
Apple. It's obviously Apple.
Yeah,
I don't like Bill. I don't like Rook.
me neither.
For very different
Yeah.
reasons. But I don't like him. I don't like Bill because he's very annoying and keeps trying to change Apple. I don't like Rook because he's creepy.
That, though, is the end of book 4.
So, yeah.
It took us like 3 hours, but we did it.
Yeah.
Are we gonna... I was about to ask if we were gonna post this in 2 parts, but we didn't record this as if we were posting it in 2 parts. It just got recorded that way. So enjoy the... I think we ended at about an hour last time, so it's more like 2.5 hours.
I don't know. While I'm editing, we can talk about it, but I think this one would probably be best because we recorded it presuming it'll be 1 part. It would be best to post it as 1 part, and then we can start splitting up the books from here.
Yeah.
Because they're
That's what
just
I was
going to get
thinking.
longer.
I wasn't sure if we'd do book 5 as 2 parts, but I figured we'd at least do 6 and 7 as 2 parts.
Well, 7's going to be more than 2 parts, but yeah.
7's gonna be like 7 parts.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I want to know at what point they're just gonna make it book 8.
When they
like...
beat Mallow.
Yeah.
Obviously.
And then book 8 is going to be us
How long is
fighting
that gonna take?
Grimm.
Yeah. Probably.
And then is it just over?
Probably not.
No,
Or does the
Yana
time
has
loop
said that
restart?
she plans for the storyline of the game to go on far past what she is calling the Overblot arc.
Yana, please.
All 7 books.
Okay.
All 7 books are 1 arc so far.
Caden's just like,
Yana.
no.
I know.
thought we were gonna be done with the game.
I know this is about to be like literally the best thing in the world, but like for it to start as a game is crazy. Especially with like how long has it been alive? Like alive, not live, but
What do you mean?
like how many years has it been since it released? Like
It released in Japan
like
in
3 or something?
2020 and in internationally in 2022.
so it's been like a thing for 4 years. And
Yeah.
we're not even finished with the first arc. That's
Yes.
giving One Piece
But
vibes.
also-
I feel like it's
It's giving, well, keep in mind, Black Butler has
Yes.
been in the same arc for like 6 years.
Yeah. Like obviously it's very similar in that.
But also Black Butler is Black Butler is pretty far along in its story.
I mean, so is Twist, but not really.
I feel like it's interesting that they're giving us this much content and then saying there's going to be like so much more content as a phone game. Like, I feel like when they have this amount of
Yeah.
content, it's sold as like Xbox or something. Like, I get they can't really do the continuous like updates that way. At least I don't think they can. I don't know how those games work because I have a Wii. But like,
Fucked up.
I feel like these
So-
long games seem like they're a console, not a phone.
There is the game Obey Me, right? That
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while since we talked about that.
The first game, I don't remember how long it is, but I think it's about 100 episodes for the first game. Let me double
we're
check.
way past that in Twist.
Is it? Which one is it? Because there's Obey Me, and then Obey Me Nightbringer. Episodes. Let me see. And there's obviously the Obey Me or anime, which is 12 episodes, and I feel like they could do that for Twisted Wonderland the same way they did Obey Me, but probably not. Okay, I have to type chapters.
I feel like, hang on, Twisted Wonderland Volume 1 was pretty similar length to, I feel like
Is this a conversation we want to have on recording?
I don't know. It's happening now.
What?
I feel like if we're going with a light novel version, that could probably be 2 episodes for prologue and then 4 episodes for, like, of an anime. 2 episodes for prologue and then 4 episodes for actual book 1. Which would mean that, like, book 2 would be, like, 6 episodes. Which, that's a season 1 right there. That's 12 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So, where they're gonna go from there, how they're gonna condense stories to make episodes, I don't know. But yeah, that's my thought.
Okay, so there's 4 seasons in the first Obey Me, and that's 66 lessons. I feel like it's more than that. But the second one, Obey Me Nightbringer, they're still working on that one. I stopped reading it because I was getting pissed off. Let me see.
Mood.
Obey Me is also, like, it's different from Twisted Wonderland, though,
Yeah.
right? Because, like, doesn't the reader's choices or the player's choices actually affect the storyline, don't they?
No,
Oh.
they don't. The only thing it affects is intimacy levels with people, but you can have intimacy levels with all of them, and it doesn't affect anyone else's. So you can love on Lucifer, but you can also love on Belle, and it won't affect either of them. Even if they are quote unquote possessive, they don't really care that you're romancing their brother. I feel like it's way longer than 50 lessons. It's so much longer than 50 lessons. There's got to be a 800. I don't know. But that one's still going, and that's older than Twist. It actually kind of fell off, and everyone's hating on it now, but we don't talk about that. Yeah. So it obviously could still continue to be a mobile game, and with everything else, it'll also be that. But the obvious main source of everything is going to be the mobile game. Yeah. All right. We stopped talking about the book that we were talking about, so we should finish this.
Yeah. Do we have any other thoughts on book 4?
I hate Mill.
Anything else?
I think they need therapy.
I mean, everyone does.
Oh, I will say, calling out the I guess I'll call everyone dude and bro now. I like the way they had it, that instead of how it is in the game, where Jamel just essentially keeps staying in Scarabia scot-free with no consequences or anything like that. He transfers to Ramshackle.
That was a good one.
No.
You just spoiled it for Wonder!
I don't mind.
I don't think I read anything after that.
Does he
but, like,
go...
I just remember him showing up.
Does he go back?
Not that we read.
No, as far as I know. I stopped reading it, like, right after this, but I just remember him showing up to the cafeteria, and he got his, like, new uniform, which is essentially just what he wears before, but then it's in, like, grays or something. And Grimm's just like, did you bleach your hoodie?
Well,
And he's like, no, I'm a ramshackle student
He
now.
gets kicked out of Scrabia, kind of, for lack of better terms.
Yeah.
And I think it's Crowley who does it, where he's like, okay, well, we can't have people doing this, so you need to go somewhere else because that was bad and sassy. I don't actually remember. It's been a while since I read the book.
I know.
Wonder
it's
you
been
gotta
so
get
long,
up there
but
so I can listen.
we still give it the recognition it deserves.
well, I mean, I don't really have anything else to do this week.
We won't make you
No,
record.
I mean,
We're just saying, like,
I've been out of podficking
Good
for a little
story.
bit. I need to get back into it. As soon as Internet Archive
That's
goes back up, because it's still down.
oof,
As of this moment, when
Actually,
we are
let-
recording this,
depression.
the place where Wonder's keeping
Let
all
me
of their archives is down.
It's been down for almost 3 days. People are saying it might be down for up
Yikes.
as much as a week. And even when we do get access back, it was like hacked and passwords were stolen. So there's a possibility we might not get our files back. And about half of my stuff since I started using Internet Archive should be fine. But like all of my stuff for Voice Team, Dude and Bro, my the banana fish vampire fic that I recorded, my pod together fic, all of that was just on archive. So yay.
Oof.
I'm not crying, what?
Thoughts and prayers that it will be returned. I said thoughts and prayers that it will be returned. All the 4-leaf
Yeah.
clovers.
Well, we'll find out when this episode goes up if I'm back to hosting stuff from my Google Drive on AO3. Anyway, I feel like we should probably just call it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
probably.
All right.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. We enjoy talking with everyone and have expanded to more socials, linked in our link tree. Have a good day and see you in our next episode.